point in time, I might bring in my co-commentator for this afternoon into the evening. And I know he's excited to call some local Victorian street stock action this afternoon as well. It's a very good afternoon to Jared Ash.
Smalley, wonderful to be joining you on commentary this weekend. Another fantastic evening of Speedway Sedans Australia action ahead of us. Big field of junior sedans rolling around the Speedway at the moment as they go down into that ever exciting turn 3. And what a fantastic sight. 3 wide formation around the track as our infield camera just picks them up coming up onto the main straightaway. You can't really pick up the elevation change for those watching at home on the live stream, but this place is certainly very unique, and as we mentioned yesterday, if you get a chance to come here, do yourself a favour and get yourself trackside to Alexandra Speedway, because it is a sight and a half and a wonderful field of junior sedans rolling down the main straightaway. They were fantastic in their racing last night. How good is the sponsor placement on the Santin cars out of the Lismore Automobile Club? Big flags for Jaden and Sophie Santin. And wonderful to see these guys out here representing their sponsors. The Highline Racewear and Team Apparel flag in young Will Shaw's car. Narrogin Speedway represent for Brodie Day. And even some flags out of the Latrobe Speedway Association from down on the Apple Isle. The junior sedans are all about it, Smalley. They get up, they support their local clubs, they support their states, and it's a wonderful event.
Yeah, so many of our Speedway Sedans Australia affiliated clubs represented in the field this weekend at Alexandra. A true national title with every state and territory represented. We've got Jack Murphy representing the ACT. His Mitsubishi Lancer, who's back for day 2 as well after an incident last night. And River Spitzpath, just 11 years of age. He's an absolute superstar as River Spitzpath, the current Northern Territory number 3, had a heat win last night as well.
All 3 foot of him, Smalley.
Yeah, representing the Northern Territory all the way from Darwin in the little blue Mitsubishi Mirage. But these modern cars looking an absolute treat. The presentation of the junior sedans, outstanding. A credit to the mums, the dads, the grandparents, the aunties, uncles, the friends, the sponsors, whoever's involved in making these cars go round, whether they've come from 5 minutes down the road or, in the case of some of our competitors, from the other side of the country. Absolutely fantastic to have them here in Alexandra. It's great to be able to run an SSA National Junior Sedan title again after about a 27-month hiatus. We weren't able to conduct this event in 2021. So great to be back in 2022 for this year's SSA National Junior Sedan title. 3 wide rolling around the Alexandra Speedway. We hope everyone here at the venue enjoyed the racing last night. The modified sedans were outstanding as well. Their 30-lap final was awesome. And the former national champion Kyle Walters going to victory lane. What a great battle between himself, Brock Atkins, and a few other guys. But I did notice the generals men Holden. There wasn't many Holdens towards the front of the field, so I was a little bit sad about that. But I did enjoy the modified sedans last night.
Yes, the Henrys were out in force for round number 3 of the Tritech Lubricant Series, and a pretty cool little club show this weekend for the street stocks. Good lineup of cars, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do on the docket. Just take our main shot ahead from the scissor lift here at the venue, and what a wonderful sight this must be for all the officials and volunteers, all the committee that worked so hard to make this title happen for Alexandra Speedway. It's certainly a very special sight to see all these cars out here rolling around in a beautiful formation from all corners of the country. And a big thing for this small town, a big thing. Everyone's been out and about in the local town and sampling the local cafes and service stations and hardware stores. And certainly something we shouldn't overlook when it comes to these national titles and the impact they have on these local communities. The beautiful rolling hills of Alexandra overlooking the Speedway, and the place looks fantastic as it looks as though our Grand Parade is set to roll off the raceway, Smalley. We're not too far away. We see Bo Oldfield pull up on the main straightaway here in the nationwide signs, number 84. Wonderful to see. Jason, his father, worked so hard overnight to get that car turned around, and back out here ready for night number 2. Obviously another one of those drivers that used a substitute vehicle. There was a little bit of controversy with some people. Not 100% sure of the substitute rule, Smalley, but everything was followed in accordance to the letter of the law of the rule book.
It most certainly was. Yeah, we have, well, our stewarding team from Speedway Sedans Australia have had that question posed to them overnight. I think it's maybe a little bit sort of a newer sort of thing to some of the competitors in the field that aren't too familiar with that rule. But
possibly a cue to familiarise yourself with the rule book.
Yeah, that was the suggestion that came from our stewarding team. But it's crystal clear in the rule book what the rules are around that. And those guys that took advantage of that last night, I mentioned.
And lights are out early here at Alexandra Speedway. Green flag at the ready for Speedway Australia. It is your SSA Street Stocks here tonight, set to go racing. As support for the National Junior Sedan title, McGreen down into turns 1 and 2 for the first time this afternoon. And Nelson gets a wonderful start, but Cornwall looks to the inside. It will be side by side down the back straight away early. Into turns 3 and 4, and Cornwall sails it in there, watches hard. He's going to turn it around in front of the field. And we've parked up 4 or 5 cars here early. Well, that was an enthusiastic start to the evening. Cornwall got in a little bit hot. Coming off the feature win last night at Simpson Speedway. And a little bit of debris on the track. Down in turn number 4. Country campaigning 3 different divisions. He's in the street stock. He was in the modified sedan last night, and he's got the production sedan next week, and they've got to go home and rebuild it before they go to Queensland. That's nothing, though, for the Nelson family as we're set to go back green here. Full restart. Cornwall to the back of the bus as we're going to go green here, and Nelson and Barkby side by side into 1 and 2 again, and Nelson gets the better of the exchange as Roycroft locked on the bottom. And you won't hold Ricky Cornwall back for very long as he goes to the top side in 1 and 2. Moves up to position number 4 and a much more conservative approach into 3 and 4 that time. Nelson with a big lead over Roycroft. Back to Cornwall. Lee Gooding running in 4th. With a host of cars stacked up behind. Cornwall really pressuring Roycroft for 2nd. As the Hulk will lead him down into 3 and 4. Nelson, back to Roycroft, then Cornwall, that's your top 3. Then Gooding and Andrew Jordan, that beautifully presented VF Commodore runs 5th. The 2000 National Street Stock Champion Daniel Barton runs 6th. He won't stay there for long as he looks to the inside of Jordan. Gives him the heave-ho and moves through to position number 5 now. Parks capitalises on that too, and Jordan's shuffled back to 7th. So it's Nelson, Roycroft and Cornwall side by side up the main straightaway with 5 to run into 1 and 2. As Cornwall moves through to position number 2 now. Roycroft 3rd, Barton in 4th, and it's Gooding, Jordan. Parks and Viney having a great battle further back. Jordan runs a little higher, trying to dime it off the corner. Underneath the Lee Gooding in the DS41. For Highport cylinder heads, rolling the bottom nicely into 1 and 2. Past the Alexandra Speedway sign, down the back straight away. So we start to wind through the laps and settle into a groove here. Matt Nelson still leads at the halfway point. Cornwall 2nd. Roycroft 3rd, and they've settled into a groove. 1st, 2nd and 3rd. Barton 4th, and the battle on the racetrack is for 5th. There's Gooding and Jordan now side by side in 1 and 2. And Andrew Jordan in the Alexandra 89 goes right around the outside. And will stay there as Gooding has a moment on the bottom. And Greg Parks switches underneath and he'll move through to position number 6 now. Down the back straight away for Nelson, the Queensland champion, will greet the white flag and have 1 to run around Alexandra Speedway. Doctor's jacket in hand, and Nelson just has to navigate Alexandra Speedway for 1 more time in heat race number 1. Cornwall is gaining, but it'll be too little too late. Into 3 and 4 for the final time, past the Metro Toe. Sign on the hill, and the checkered flag comes out for the first event of the week, of the night. Matt Nelson gets the win. Cornwell second. Roycroft third. A good drive from Daniel Barton, home in fourth after starting at the back of the bus. Jordan fifth, Park sixth, Lee Gooding seventh. Viney in eighth as Barkby failed to go the distance. Your heat race number one winner for the street stocks. He's done 7,000 laps around here in the last 12 months, I'd reckon. It's Matt Nelson in the Queensland One machine. And we'll take a quick commercial break for those tuned in at home on Speedway Sedans Live and be back with round 4 of heats for the Razzler Engineering National Junior Sedan title.
20 degrees here in Alexandra at the moment. Track conditions absolutely superb as well for this final round of qualifying heats. This is the last chance to get some points and try and get yourself into that show. We're only taking the top 16 automatically. And watch for Jaden Santon and Jaden Bryant to try and work their way forward from the back of the bus. 11 starters to go round. This is heat race number 22. Day 2 of the Razzler Engineering SSA National Junior Sedan title for 2022 is underway. The Speedway Australia green flag greets our 11 starters here in heat 22. The two Victorians, Jacob Tinworth and Ryland Peck, who hails from Hamilton, the western part of the state here in Victoria, lead through turns 1 and 2 for the first time. Alec McMillan out of shape, and we've got a couple of them, including Carly O'Reilly, Nate Garwood, and Jaden Bryant have all been caught up in that incident. A couple of them just got out of shape on the exit of turn 2. And as you'd imagine, the yellow lights have come on. We've got caution on the Speedway to start the first heat of day 2. And got a feel for the Riley racing team. They've put in a huge effort. They were up to about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning working on the car. Then as soon as the sun came up this morning, they were working on it again as well to try and get the Lancer. They only just got it finished about a couple of hours before racing commenced here today at Alexandra. And McMillan and Riley just got together. Jaden Bryan absolutely nowhere to go. The man who's 7th in the point standings after day 1. And Nate Garwood caught up in it as well in the Mitsubishi Mirage, the T77. And by the looks of things, as the people at home watching the replay one more time, that certainly helped the Riley race team out overnight to get the Lancer back out for day 2. Jaden Bryant, we do wonder what the damage is to the V49 as he starts from the back of the field. Just the 8 cars remain here in heat 22. Jacob Tinworth and Ryland Peck. We're wondering what went on behind them. 2 front row drivers, both in Hyundai Excels. Jacob Tinworth and Ryland Peck will lead us to the green flag. Second attempt at a start here in heat number 22. The SSA National Junior Sedan title. Pretty even dispatch between the two of them on the front row, and straight away Billy McDonald, who's looking for some big points after a did not finish and a did not start. On day 1, the Mitsubishi Lancer from the Bundaberg Saloon Car Club is up into second place. Blake Glynn, 3/4 track high, he's widest of all. So race their way past the Foodworks sign into turn number 3. Ryland Peck has that rear bumper dangling off the back of the Hyundai Excel, just slowing a little bit here in the front straight. Jaden Bryant moves around him up into 6th place. But Jacob Tinworth, the V7, holding off the Queensland number 2 of Billy McDonald. He's got high-tech oils. The left rear quarter panel of the Lancer. Look at go to the top shelf. There's Billy McDonald ranging up alongside of Jacob Tinworth. It's Hyundai Excel versus Mitsubishi Lancer in the blazing sunshine here at Alexandra Speedway in central Victoria. And Billy McDonald had the nose in front that time around at the start-finish line. The Q2 hits the race lead around the outside. What an outstanding move. Jacob Tinworth back to second. And Jaden Santon, who started on the 5th row, the N17 from the Lismore Automobile Club in northern New South Wales, is up into third and hunting down Jacob Tinworth. Here comes Jaden Santon, a very, very likeable young man. Met him on Friday afternoon before official practice. Absolutely loves his speedway. And the N17 is coming after second place. He's harassing the back bumper of the V7 of Jacob Tinworth in front of him. Blake Glynn in the V8 out of Avalon sits in 4th from Alexandra 49 of Jaden Bryant. Seth Sloan also from here in Alexandra. The S93 sits in 6th place from Ryland Peck. And Corey Richter in the S16 rounds out the 8 cars out on track. Jaden Santon to the inside as they enter turn number 1. To the inside of Jacob Tinworth on the bottom side of the racetrack. And it's Mitsubishi Lancers 1-2 now. As Tinworth trying to fight back. And look who's coming towards the top 3. Jaden Bryant, 7th in the point standings. The man who's finished on the podium in 2 state titles this season. The V49. Can he run down Tinworth and Santon in front of him? with just a handful laps remaining in heat number 22, the first heat race of day 2 of this year's SSA National Junior Sedan title. Jaden Bryant gets a slingshot run out of turn number 2. The V49 to the outside of Timworth. Timworth just trying to shut the door as they enter turn number 3. Just runs the Hyundai Excel up a little bit higher on the racetrack on the exit of turn number 4. Bryant just had to touch the brake pedal. Blake Glynn is still 5th. He's got Seth Sloan for company. That battle for a spot inside the top 5, just backing up a little bit behind Jaden Santon. As the passing flag will come out on the S16 of Corey Richter this time around. Our race leader, Billy McDonald, is starting to find the quick way around the Alexandra Speedway. A long trip down from Bundaberg in central Queensland to be here this weekend in the Q2. 2-car team. And Billy McDonald is hustling out of turn number 2 and down the back straight. Look at Jaden Bryant to the outside of Jacob Timworth as they go down the back straightaway for the final occasion. Billy McDonald is going to win the opening heat race of day 2 of this year's Rassler Engineering SSA National Junior Sedan title. One for the Queenslanders. He gets it done. Jaden Santon from Northern New South Wales will be the runner-up. From the V7 of Jacob Timworth, the V49, Jaden Bryant, the V8 of Blake Glynn will be 5th. From the V93 of Seth Sloan, the VA29 of Ryland Peck 7th. And rounding out your finishes will be the S16 of Corey Richter. But a nice job by our heat race winner, the Q2 of Billy McDonald, who I think has already headed back to the pits. He doesn't want to come and have a chat to us. The 28 from the Gympie Saloon Car Club, Aidan Rigby. Row 5, the NA17 of Jackson Goldie, and the WA8 of Brody Day, all the way from Narrogin in Western Australia. And unfortunately, Cooper Flynn was scheduled to start from position 11 in the Q27 Lancer. Cooper will not race this afternoon and this evening, this second day of the national title.
This was the pick early in the weekend for heat race of the weekend. Smiley, we'll see if it delivers up to the hype. Certainly plenty of superstars in this one, though.
Most certainly. A couple of state champions in Beau Oldfield, the West Australian champion, and the Queensland champion, Aidan Rigby, to go from P8. But it's the 2 Victorian lady races starting from the front row. Jessica O'Donnell and Tamika Simpson. Their pair of Mitsubishi Lancers will lead them to the green flag. As we've got 8 laps ahead of us in all of our heat races this weekend for the SSA Junior Sedans. And Beau Oldfield 28th in the point standings after that accident last night, will be looking to get 36 points in his final qualifying heat. The red line roll coaches number 84 Mitsubishi Mirage leads down the back straight for the first time. Kane Richter's getting amongst it early, as is Harry Fowler, who was 8th after night 1 in the Q23 Mirage from the Gold Coast. They're 2 and 3 wide as they enter the front straight. A fantastic field of junior sedans. It was the pick of the heat races earlier in the weekend. It's a star-studded lineup. And it's got Curtis Peel out there as well, taking on the Q32 of Kane Richters. Those guys race against each other week in and week out in southeast Queensland, and they've brought that show down to Victoria for the next couple of weekends. Curtis Peel, Kane Richters and Harry Fowler line astern for second. Jackson Goldie is 5th from the Queensland champion, Aidan Rigby. Brody Day, 19th after night 1, wants to get in the show. Automatically he's up into 7th from Tamika Simpson, Cooper Reid and Jessica O'Donnell. That's Curtis Peel. He loves that run down the back straight, the Q11. Look at the charade digging on the bottom, trying to work his way into the top 3. Just gives Kane Richters a little bit of a touch, gets untidy. Jackson Goldie trying to fight on the outside of Curtis Peel. Fantastic stuff from the junior sedans while these guys battle. That's allowing the West Australian champion, Beau Oldfield, to just sneak away. And the nationwide signs number 84 for the northern suburbs of Perth. He's got 1.2 seconds back to Harry Fowler. He's got Kane Richters, Curtis Peel, Jackson Goldie, the Queensland champion, Aidan Rigby. And the current Australian number 3 of Brody Day sits in 7th in WA8. Then we've got Tamika Simpson, Cooper Reid and Jessica O'Donnell. That's the way they run in heat number 23 of the SSA National Junior Sedan title for 2022. And Beau Oldfield, no ill effects showing from the car. His dad Jason and all the team have done a tremendous job to get the 84 car turned around for day 2 after a very big shunt in turns 3 and 4 in his second qualifying heat last night. Harry Fowler is just holding on to second. Kane Richters, Curtis Peel, Jackson Goldie, Aidan Rigby and Brody Day line astern for second. There's that high-speed freight train for second place at the moment. Further back to Tamika Simpson, Cooper Reid and Jessica O'Donnell. 2 to run for Beau Oldfield. The Ultra Engines, number 84, hustles into the front straight. This racetrack here at Alexandra, a little bit longer than his home track at Ellenbrook. Ellenbrook about 500 metres in circumference. We're looking towards 600 metres here at Alexandra, but he's really stretching the legs of the Mitsubishi power plant at the moment. Curtis Peel, the charade might have got it done this time around. He goes to 3rd to the inside of the South Australian number 2 of Kane Richters. They're side by side. Curtis Peel just had to get it on the brakes, give a bit of room to Richters to go back around the outside. Jackson Goldie ranges up alongside of Curtis Bill in that battle for 4th and 5th as they just got one lap remaining of Alexandra Speedway. Brody Day in the Queensland champion, Hayden Rigby trying to get amongst it as Brody Day works his way into the top 5, but out of turn number 4 for the final time. His second heat race win of the weekend. The West Australian champion, Bo Oldfield. The WA 84 gets it done from the Q23 of Harry Fowler, the Q32 of Kane Richters. Curtis Peel will be 4th in the Q11. Great drive on the final lap by Brody Day to work his way into the top 5. The WA 8 from the NA 17 of Jackson Goldie, the Q28 of Aidan Rigby, the Q17 of Cooper Reid. After that was the V23 of Tamika Simpson and the V69 of Jessica O'Donnell. But Bo Oldfield will have a chat to us very shortly, and he'll have a heap of people to thank to get him back out there for day number 2.
Well, it's a very big congratulations to Bo Oldfield, the winner of heat race number 23. Was scheduled to be one of the heat races of the weekend, picked earlier in the proceedings. It'd be a star-studded lineup, but the team have done a tremendous amount of work. Bo Oldfield, that must be an enormous relief to put 36 points in the bank and repay all those people that have done a huge amount of work on this Mitsubishi Mirage in the last 24 hours.
Honestly, I'm so grateful for everyone who chipped in, especially all the WA guys, the Day family, Della, Murray, especially your dad. He didn't go to sleep till 5 o'clock last night, so I can't thank him enough.
Racetrack looks pretty fast early in proceedings. You probably just wanted to get out and clear air there, and I was saying in the call that your home track at Ellenbrook's quite a fast racetrack, wide open like this, but this one a little bit longer than at home.
This is definitely a bit longer, but that just makes it more challenging for myself and everyone else, which is great.
36 points. Not sure if it's going to get you an automatic position into the top 16 of the A main, but you'll be, if not in the A main, towards the front of the one of the B mains. You must be just looking forward to try and get this nationwide Signs 84 in the show tonight.
Definitely. I don't want to be in a B main, but if I have to go through a B main to get to an A main, that's exactly what I'll do.
All the best, Bo.
Thank you.
There is the West Australian champion, Bo Oldfield, the winner of Heat 23. Heat 24, Jared, and it will feature one of our undefeated drivers from day number 1, the 95 of Kane Della.
Yes, Kane Della with a little bit of work to do if he's going to make his undefeated streak last the course of the weekend. He does start in the second row behind as they roll down the back chute here at the beautiful Alexandra Speedway.
Yeah, elite racking install, bringing us this heat race. So 11 starters to go around, as Jared alluded to. Good mix of Mitsubishi Lancers, Hyundai Excels, and even a charade for Braden Kane. They've done a lot of work on that T23 to get him back out for this second day of competition in this year's national title. But Reese Meakins needs some big points in the V85. He calls the Alexandra track home. The Lancer leads through turns 1 and 2 for the first time, and Kane Della, you'd expect him to go to work straight away. And that KCLD claiming number 95 from Kalgoorlie Boulder, 3/4 track high. And the 95 looking to go through the heat race competition undefeated in this year's national title. Just runs a little bit wide in turn number 4. As the Roy Orm gets the Lancer a little bit untidy, loses a spot to Corona Barton in the 19. Corona moves up into 6th place, and River Spitzbath to the inside of Billy McDonald, the driver all the way from Darwin. The Northern Territory is now in 3rd place, puts Billy McBride back to 4th, and Lachlan Brown, a tough night at the office last night, looking for some big points in the South Australia 9, has hit the concrete wall to rate of knots. In turn 4, you can see the mark on the concrete wall, and Lachlan Brown's weekend goes from bad to worse. He was involved in a heavy crash last night, and part of the racetrack has just not been kind to Lachlan Brown this weekend at all. Driver who does the majority of his racing at the Murray Bridge Speedway in South Australia.
As we're not too far away from getting back underway, Reese Meakins, one of the locals, set to lead us back to green here, Smalley.
He is indeed young Reese Meakins, who has qualified for the A-Main and the National Junior Sedan title previously when he finished 15th at the national title when it was held up at Maryborough in Queensland. He was 36th after day 1. And a heat race winner would do him no harm at all, but he's got a fierce competitor to contend with, the W95 of Kane Della, who moves to the inside of Reese Meakins and takes the race lead as Kane Della, looking to wrap himself up. A front row start for the A-Main as the driver of the KCLD Cleaning 95 from Kalgoorlie, and Billy McBride, as that's Sonny a little bit out of shape for the back in the field, going to drop a heap of spots in the process. So it's Della from Meakins, River Spitzbath is 3rd. Karina Barton is back there in fourth place in the 19 from Rye Orme. Braden Kane in the T23. They've done a lot of repairs to that charade overnight to get him back out there. He's sitting in sixth place as the Kilmore Towing and Transport number 85 of Reese Meakins just ran wide a time around on the exit of turn 4. Gathers up the Lancer as Rye Orme to the inside of Barton in turn number 1, and the V9 moves into fourth place. Barton trying to fight back in that Mirage. They've got the Tasmania 23, Braden Kane right behind him. Toby Parks is 7th from Sammy Wooters, Jasmine Bryant and Billy McBride, so that fleet of Victorians round out the field. But the lone West Australian in heat race number 24 of this year's SSA National Junior Sedan title, brought to you by Rassler Engineering, has a handicap out in front at the moment. Back to the V85 of Reese Meakins. He's one of the quicker junior drivers in the West is Kane Della, and he's really taken to this racetrack like a duck to water. His quick time so far at 22.049, which is 0.4 of a second quicker than anybody else out there on the racetrack at the moment. He's absolutely flying. He has 2 laps to run when he greets the start-finish line this time around, as he brings the Hyundai Excel into the front straight. Reese Meakins again runs wide on the exit of turn 4. River Spitzpath trying to close down in the 43. River was 20th in the point standings after day 1. Would love 28 points to put in the bank. Rye Orme holding off Karina Barton for 4th. Braden Kane is 6th in the T23 from Toby Parks, Sammy Wooters, Jasmine Bryant and Billy McBride, all from Victoria. But the white flag is now on display for the driver of the Rev Right Engines, number 95 of Kane Della, as he sails off into turn number 1 here at the picturesque Alexandra Speedway. River Spitzpath has closed the gap on Reese Meakins. Can River find a way past as he heads down the back straight for the last time? Just 11 years of age is the current NT number 3. Looks to the inside of Meakins with a big lunge into turn number 3. They make contact, and unfortunately Reese Meakins has gone upside down in a big way in the V85 Kilmore Towing and Transport Mitsubishi Lancer. And unfortunately the red lights will have to come on, and not sure if Kane Della actually crossed the checkered flag before that happened. We'll check with our officials from Speedway Sedans Australia, and we'll be back shortly with an update on young Reese Meakins in Pitt's Corner. And Karina Barton is in 3rd in the 19. Braden Kane is now 4th, and Toby Parks in the V43 rounding out your top 5 as we look to get Heat 24 run and 1 in particular for Kane Della, who wants 36 more points to give him 144 in total for the weekend. And the 95 has 2 laps to negotiate of the Alexandra Speedway as he heads out of turn 2 and down the back straight. Braden Kane, he fancies his chances to steal 3rd place away from Karina Barton in the 19. Barton just runs wide on the exit of turn 4, the little charade. Coming down the inside, Toby Parks, Sammy Wooters, the 2 Victorian Hyundai Excels. Battle for 5th and 6th from Jasmine Bryant. River Spitzpath working his way back through the field. He looks to the inside of Jasmine Bryant on the exit of turn 2. But bring him home, ladies and gentlemen. He'll start on the front row for the 25-lap A-main for this year's national title. 4 wins from 4 starts. The 95 of Kane Della gets it done from Rye Orme. Karina Barton holds on for 3rd. From Braden Kane, Sammy Wooters got up for 5th in the end. From the V43 at Toby Parks will be 6th. 7th will be the NT43 River Spitzpath, the V29 at Jasmine Bryant, and the V13 at Billy McBride. Your 9 finishes in Heat Race 24.
Well, as he receives the Speedway Australia cap for winning Heat Race number 24 of the SSA National Junior Sedan title, brought to you by Rassler Engineering, Kane Della, 144 points in the bank. He will start on the front row for the A-main later this evening for this year's national title. How does that feel?
Yeah, it feels like Arthur all over again.
Had to survive that green-white checker after, unfortunately, Reese Meakins going upside down. That was that a nervous time for you, and what was going through the brain at the time?
Nah, I just knew I had to cover my lines and not let anyone pass me on the bottom, and yeah, we'd be all good.
Must be some people you'd like to thank for making this trip to Victoria possible for this year's national title.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone back home supported me, all the messages and everything. Yeah, appreciate it. My Alicia for not being able to come over, mum and dad, brother and sister, Pop, Nana back home. Everyone that made it possible to come over here, every sponsor that I've got, everyone that's helped me along the way. Yeah, cheers.
All right, go and have a drink of water, and we'll see you later tonight. Hopefully it's not too much of a nervous couple of hours for you, but I know you've got a great team around you and you'll be looking forward to just getting it run and won later tonight.
Yeah, can't wait.
There is Kane Della, the winner of heat number 24, 144 points to his name. We'll start on the front row. Whether that will be pole.
One here ahead of heat race 25. 10 cars set to go round the beautiful Alexandra Speedway as they roll down the back chute under control of Speedway Sedans Australia's Stewards Advisor and Chief Steward for the weekend, Alan Jennings, passing on plenty of instructions for the drivers ahead of heat race 25. Smalley, we are getting to the business end of heat race action in the National Junior Sedan title.
Yeah, the third last heat race. Will Shaw, unfortunately, a flat tyre after contact in his final heat last night. Can he get a heat race win on day 2? The V15 for Adam Holt Industries will lead our field into turn number 1 for the first of 8 occasions. Christine Oliver in the back as Marsh towing. Charade, three-quarter track. I just falls back at the Tasmanian champion, or the ex-Tasmanian champion, Lockie Robbins. Moves to the outside of Lockie Bull. The two Lockies, second and third at the moment, side by side. Robbins just tries to shut the door on Bull as they exit turn 4. Jack Murphy needs some big points after a unfortunate accident in turn 4 last night. The ACT 55, who calls the National Capital Motorsports Club home, has moved up into the top 3 early in this heat race. Sophie Santin, the N17, trying to get amongst it as well. They're three-quarter track high. Further back, that's Mitchell McClure, who's widest of all in the Datsun Sunny. Just gives the concrete wall a bit of a touch. This is all allowing Will Shaw to just get away from him at the moment with 2 down and 6 remaining. Jack Murphy sits in second place. He's got the better of the battle between himself and the Tasmanian Lockie Robbins. As Lockie Bull has Santin, Sophie Santin trying to find a way past. Look at the Lancer from the Lisbon Automobile Club go to the outside of Lockie Bull as Jack Murphy, not for the first time this weekend, touches the concrete wall down in turn number 4, loses a heap of spots in the progress, goes back from second, back to 5th in the blink of an eye as Jack Randall, who was 15th after day number 1, trying to get himself an automatic berth into the A main. Jaden Locke, Sophie Santin and Donnie Davis, who was 5th in the standings, now starting to come into calculations for one of these minor positions. But the Highline Fabrication, number 15 of Will Shaw, continues to lead. He leads by 2.5 seconds back to Lockie Robbins. Christine Oliver getting amongst it in the Victoria 62 for Bacchus Marsh Towing. Has Lockie Bull, Jack Murphy, Jack Randall to contend with the 2 Jacks, 5th and 6th. Jaden Locke is 7th from Sophie Santin. Donnie Davis is 9th, and the VA8 of Mitchell McClure is 10th. And the final car out on track at the moment in the Mildura registered Datsun Sunny. But we've got 3 to run, so we're over halfway home, and Will Shaw now leads by 3.2 seconds. The Adam Holt Industries Mitsubishi Mirage from the Timmins Speedway, which has got a very big race betting next weekend over at Easter. The Modified Magic as well as the Sprint Car All-Stars coming to town. Very wonderful Speedway club up there in the northwestern part of Victoria. And Will Shaw doing them proud at the moment as he leads now by 3.1 seconds from Lockie Robbins, Christine Oliver, Lockie Bull. Jack Murphy is 5th from Jack Randall. Sophie Santin has the WA3 of Donnie Davis working to the inside. And Donnie Davis will now move into 7th place to the inside of Santin with just 1 to run for our race leader, Will Shaw. What a great battle it's been for the minors between Murphy, Oliver and Jack Randall, and also Lockie Bull in the 51 out of Swan Hill in the northern part of Victoria. But through turns 3 and 4 for the final occasion, Will Shaw in the Adam Holt Industries Victoria 15 will get 36 points in heat race number 24. Lockie Robbins a fine drive for 2nd from Christine Oliver. Jack Murphy will be 4th. Jack Randall will be 5th ahead of Lockie Bull. Donnie Davis will be 7th in TLC contracting number 3 from Newman in Western Australia. Sophie Santin will be 8th in the N18. 9th will be the V4 of Jaden Locke. And rounding out your 10 finishes, VA8 of Mitchell McClure. Green to Checker without a stoppage. The quick time of the race at 22.312 by our race winner, V15, Will Shaw.
Well, a very happy Will Shaw, the winner of this particular heat race in the Rassler Engineering SSA National title. Will, after it did not finish last night, that must be an enormous relief for you and the team.
Yeah, no, I had a pretty bad run in the last heat of last night, which put me down on points a bit, so this is a good confidence boost to get us back up on points a little bit.
Got plenty of corporate support on the side of the Mitsubishi Mirage to make this weekend's national title possible. We must want to thank those folks.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody. I know I might forget someone, so sorry about that. Adam at AHI, Brock and Big D at ESS. I'd like to thank Mildura Crash Supplies, Mum and Dad, of course, Mick Downs at MDR Rendering, everybody watching online, and all the boys for having a good race tonight.
Heard a little rumour that post-junior sedans you might be going modified sedan racing. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, we've got an FGX modified that Cam Waters has drove for the last 2 years sitting in the shed for me to suit into. So hopefully we can get some better results for me driving, but yeah, it should be a good run.
All the best for the rest of the national title here this weekend and your future Speedway endeavours, young Will.
You're awesome. Thanks, guys.
Will Shaw, very happy winner in the V15. Mitsubishi Mirage, Jared, heat 25, the third last heat, the national title. It went a bit early in that last one, saying we were into the third last, but we've still got 3 to run.
South Australian champion Aaron Trenter sharing the front row with the V25 of Cruz Farrell. So we're all set to go. The third last heat race of the weekend, heat 25 for the national title. Heat 26. Getting muddled up a little bit today with the numbers, but we're all go into heat 26. Aaron Trenter, 3/4 track high. I think that second row was just hanging back a little bit at the start of heat 26. Heats 27 and 28 to come after this one. But Cruz Farrell, Aaron Trenter, Tyson Heafy, JJ Hamilton, Max Richter, Tanner Barclay, River Patterson, Harry Cecil, Brandon Austin in that repaired Hyundai Excel, Michaela O'Reilly, and Logan Mayer,
And
your 11 starters. Now, I just want to share a little bit of info for the race fans. Logan Mayer, very confident young man. He come and saw me this afternoon, and he said, I'm 35th in the point standings, so I just want to let you know, I'm going to the outside. I'm coming for the front.
I like it.
Very
I like
confident young man.
The V61 on the outside of the final row. So we're missing JJ Hamilton out there. Has not made the call for heat race 26, Smalley.
No, he hasn't indeed. So that's rotten luck for the driver of the Mitsubishi Mirage from the Brisbane Sedan Association.
There was some talk about an engine change in the pit area for him a little bit earlier on, so I wonder if that was the cause. But keep your eyes on the 61 of Logan Mayer, set to go to the top side. He's called his shot early as heat 26 set to get back underway.
Second attempt at a start in the South Australian champion who won heat race number 21 last night to conclude first day of competition, sharing the front row with the Midwest Imports Lancer of Cruz Farrell, the Victorian. They're side by side as they exit turn number 2. Aaron Trenter got out by the exit gate to the racetrack, and Logan Mayer, he wasn't wrong. He's coming towards the front of the field from row 5 up into third place on the opening lap. He talked the talk, now he's walking the walk. He's up into third place. He's flying is Logan Mayer. I reckon he's going to have something for our leaders. Aaron Trenter, he ducks to the bottom on Cruz Farrell. Farrell will just try and shut the door, just try and close it in on Trenter, but the charade very quick out of turn number 2 into turn 3 past the smooth suspension sign. And the South Australian champion now leads from Cruz Farrell. Good Brandon Austin. That rollover last night has not deterred him. He's on the outside of his fellow Tasmanian and Michaela O'Reilly trying to make something happen. A little bit of smoke coming from the T65 towards the back of the field. But Logan Mayer now challenging Cruz Farrell for second. Tanner Barclay is fourth from River Patterson in the 47. The Raslar Engineering backed entry sits in fifth place from Harry Cecil, Michaela O'Reilly, Tyson Heafy and Brandon Austin. As Brandon Austin just negotiates the VA9 of Tyson Heafy and the S12 of Max Richter out of Renmark in South Australia. Rounds out the cars out on track here in this particular heat race, heat 26, the SSA National Junior Sedan title. And Aaron Trenter, the 22.383, his quick time so far. Logan Mayer's given away a couple of spots to Tanner Barclay and River Patterson, his two fellow Victorians. The three Lancers run in close proximity out of turn 2. That's the tyre power sign into turn number 3. Barclay's been right amongst it all weekend. He's a handy little driver in the V95, holding off River Patterson and Logan Mayer. Harry Cecil sits back there in 6th place in the V21 from the T65 of Braden Austin, the T14 of Michaela O'Reilly, the VA9 of Tyson Heafy, and the S12 of Max Richter. Rounds them out. But Aaron Trenter looking for his second heat race win of this year's national title. He brings the S45 out of turn number 4 with 2 laps remaining. Look at a little bit of a touch between Barclay and Patterson. Patterson in the 47 just trying to move the 95 up track, and Logan Mayer capitalises on that. The big outside move The V61 takes back third place. River Patterson trying to fight back. And that Rassler Engineering 47 gets a good run out of turn number 2. Does Patterson to the inside of Mare. These guys race against each other week in and week out in the Garden State. Just one lap remaining, and we've got one slowing on the back straight. That's the T14, Macaulay O'Reilly. And the Lancer is going to come to a just about to a stop in front of the Eastern Suburbs Locksmiths sign on the back straight. So that's going to set up a green-white checker, Jared Ash, for the second time today.
I'm just proper excited. Logan Mayer called his shot ahead of this heat race, and he's living up to it 100%. And we're getting word through that there's a flat right front tyre on the 14, and that's the reason they pulled into the infield. So green flag back out, and Alan Smallwood will bring you to our checkered flag.
We will, just 2 to run. Bruce Farrell, does he have anything for our South Australian champion, Aaron Trenter? And Logan Mayer, can he steal the 28 points from his fellow Victorian? Tanner Barclay, Harry Cecil, River Patterson, all Victorians as well in the Tasmanian T65 of Brandon Austin going to the outside of the racetrack. Unfortunately, that's where he came to grief yesterday afternoon in that Hyundai Excel. With 1 lap remaining, River Patterson has worked his way back inside the top 5. The Lancer challenging Tanner Barclay, and also Harry Cecil getting amongst it as well. But through Pitt's corner for the final time, as it starts to get quite willing for the Miners, it's going to be the South Australian champion of Aaron Trenter, who will collect the 36 points from Cruz Farrell. Logan Mayer, Tanner Barclay will be 4th, and Brandon Austin got into the top 5 in the Tasmania 65 by race in from Harry Cecil. River Patterson fell back to 7th in that run to the checkered flag from the VA9 of Tyson Heafy in the S12 of Max Richter, with the T14 of Macaulay O'Reilly not finishing. She'll be credited with 10th place finishing points in the Q19 of JJ Hamilton, a non-starter. But Aaron Trenter locks himself into tonight's A-main with that heat race win.
Well, the South Australian champion in the S45 for this weekend's national title, Aaron Trenter, just receiving the Speedway Australia cap for winning Heat 26. CW Wines, South Australia, Daihatsu Charade. A very likeable young man is young Aaron Trenter, who hails from just outside of Adelaide. Aaron, well done on that heat win, and that gets you automatically into tonight's A-main.
Yeah, cheers, thank you. Yeah, pretty tough track out there, pretty rough and dusty, and yeah, sort of a bit of a hard track. Yeah, don't really have any tracks like this over in South Australia, so yeah, it's good learning curve, and yeah, we'll see how tonight brings.
A lot of people that you'd like to thank for making this national title weekend possible, I'm sure.
Yeah, big thanks to Nathan Thorne for coming over and helping me. The Brown family, CW Wines, Booth Transport, Thorne Built, and Mum, Dad, all my siblings, and yeah, everyone who makes this race possible.
All the best for tonight's A-main.
Cheers, thank you.
A very likeable young man, as I mentioned, the South Australian champion Aaron Trenter, with a huge future in Speedway.
And plenty of hard charges buried deep in this one. Young Shani Farrell was very impressive on the top side last night. We'll wait and see what she's got from the outside of the 4th row. Hancock back there as well. Keep your eyes on Hollyman and Cameron Smith, both looking for points to go forward here. Smalley, 2 to go in the national title.
Indeed, Jared Ash, as we look forward to what lies ahead, the remainder of this national title. Bree Simpson, the Tasmanian number 2, your pole sitter, and will lead into turn number 1. Nathan Miles and Brody Holloman, the 2 number 12s, getting to know each other a little bit more closely in turn number 1. There was a pretty big bang in the door between the 2 of them. Cameron Smith, who had a heat race win last night in the Sign Effects Hyundai Excel from Mildura. He is now 4th to the inside of Riley Lawrence. Shani Farrell, the Tasmania 35, which was the best presented car in this year's SSA National Junior Sedan title, now runs inside the top 5, has Jaden Hancock 4th after night 1 in the point standings, with a win in 2 second places in the Carrot of Berryborough. Southeast Queensland, the 7 to the inside of Riley Lawrence, looking to work his way into 6th place. But the local leads at the moment, Bree Simpson in the Avalon number 10, or the Alexandra number 10, I should say. holding off Brodie Holloman, Nathan Miles, Cameron Smith and Shani Farrell from Tasmania. Top 5 has got Riley Lawrence and Jaden Hancock breathing on the back bumper of the Tas truck, refinishing Mitsubishi Lancer. Jaden Hancock knocking on the door. He wants to get into the top 5. He wants to start in the first couple of rows of tonight's A main. Riley Lawrence, a heavy impact on the concrete wall and come right across the front of Matty Capon, who did a great job to take evasive action. But the VA66 well out of harm's way. And the race will continue. They'll be halfway home next time around, 4 to run. And Brodie Holloman has now hit the race lead. Looking for his second heat win of the weekend. Bree Simpson trying to go back underneath. As I speak, Jaden Hancock goes into the top 5. Nathan Miles, who was very competitive on night 1, was 9th in the standings. Has Cameron Smith behind him. So it's Queenslander leading 3 Victorians. And Cameron Smith is going to work big time on the back of the Lancer in front of him of Nathan Miles, who has another Lancer. Just ahead of him, the Tasmanian number 2 from right here at Alexandra, Bree Simpson. Jaden Hancock is 5th from Shani Farrell, Matty Capon and Chase Doherty. Your 8 that remain. And now our officials have decided to throw the yellow flag to make sure that young Riley Lawrence is A-OK. By the looks of things, it was a heavy impact on the concrete wall down there in turn number 4 a few moments ago.
Well, I believe it may possibly have something to do with the fact that Riley may have broken the belts and dropped the window net. So the car was probably in a reasonably safe position, but once the driver was unstrapped, they wanted to make sure that they moved that car to a safe position on the infield. And look after the safe. Probably a fair few from WA, Mr. Waddell and Spicer. They've gone on to do successful things in motorsport as well.
Yeah, they have indeed. We've also had some guys out of WA finish on the podium. Aaron Hancock springs to mind, who was 3rd at Murray Bridge a few years ago, all still involved in our wonderful sport. Heat 27 is back underway, and Brodie Holloman looking for his second heat win of the weekend in the Cush Clothing Queensland number 12. He led Bree Simpson by 0.4 of a second before the restart. He'll have 3 laps to negotiate. This time around is a great battle for the minors between Hancock, Smith and Shani Farrell. Hancock coming down the inside of the other 14. And Jaden Hancock now 4th. Shani Farrell trying to follow him through. Trying to muscle to the inside of Cameron Smith. The T35's got it done, I think. Smith trying to go 3/4 track high, trying to go back around the outside. So race their way past the smooth suspension sign into turn number 3. Bit of contact between them as they entered the corner. And unfortunately, Shani Farrell collects the concrete wall on the exit of turn 4. Might have to try and limp the 35 to the infield. And out of harm's way with 1.5 laps remaining. The green lights have stayed on and you can see the damage on the right front corner of the T35. So Shani Farrell will drop a few points there due to that incident. And the race continues, and Brodie Holloman, unaware of the drama going on behind him, has just 1 lap between himself and a heat race win here in Heat 2017. Hancock digging on the bottom. Look at Jaden Hancock go up into the top 3. Muscles to the inside of Nathan Miles. Miles will try and fight back on the outside, but I think Jaden Hancock's got it done. Who's inside the top 3 on the final circulation of heat race number 27, which will go the way of Queensland's Brodie Holloman. Well, a nice drive defeats the Victoria 10. Bree Simpson, the Q7 of Jaden Hancock, the V12 of Nathan Miles, the V14 of Cameron Smith rounds out your top 5. Matty Capon will be 6th in the V66, and the V31 of Chase Doherty will be the 7th and final car to do the 8 laps. With Shani Farrell and Riley Lawrence, unfortunately, not going the distance. They're in heat race 27.
Well, the winner of heat 27, Brodie Holloman, just unbuckling the safety gear at the moment. He'll be very wrapped in the Holloman's Electrical Solutions Mitsubishi Mirage with Cush Clothing and Down Under Graphics supporting this wonderfully turned out car, one of the nicest looking SSA junior sedans in the country. He's going to get the Speedway Australia winners cap and also the winners board. Got Squiggles here from Smooth Suspension, hand those over to him. Brodie, well done, buddy. You must be wrapped to be straight into tonight's A-Main with a couple of heat race wins across the weekend.
Yeah, that really helped us. We were 22nd on points, but hopefully that made us just get in the A-Main there. This thing's it's just so fun to drive. It's just locked down on the bottom the whole time. Can't thank Dad enough and Mum and Dad. They do everything for me, and I just can't thank them enough. And thanks for Alexandra putting this show on. I'm gonna be a bit sad when I leave. This track's so cool. But yeah, just thanks Alexandra again.
You'd love to take this back to Queensland, would you, Alexandra Speedway?
Yeah, of course. But also I want to thank my sponsors, Homes Electrical Solutions, Sid Tech, Sedan Service and Supplies, True Design Homes, Cutting Edge Mowers, Down Under Graphics, and Boss Hog Steakhouse and Harlem Fabrication. Thank you.
All the best for the rest of the national title, Brody.
Cheers.
What a very well-spoken young man out of the Sunshine State, Jared, your home state. And it'll be great to watch.
For making this weekend possible, Heat 28, final throw of the dice, and will we see Carter Metcalfe go through the weekend undefeated and join Kane Della on the front row? Smalley, your guess is as good as mine. Set for a grandstand finish here to heat race action for this weekend.
We are indeed. Stevie Smith, great to see you back out there after a nasty crash last night. The pole set up, leading him to the green flag as it's all going wrong at the start. And I was a betting man on, so that one's probably going to be called back, without a doubt.
We call that one a DB in the game, a dog's breakfast. It was very, very messy.
Carter Metcalfe, in amongst all that, he was starting on the outside. He was on the infield at the start-finish line.
And AJ McDonald was even further inside.
Yeah. So definitely not what we wanted to see at the start of that one.
It always happens. You hype up the final heat race of the weekend, you get everyone pumped up, and then they go and do that.
Yep, indeed.
So Patterson will be looking for some solid points here, as well as young Liam Cameron. Who both start on the fourth row, so they've got a little bit of work ahead of themselves. We know the pedigree of young Carter Metcalfe. The Mildura kid has been very impressive all weekend long, quick-timed in practice, and usually that can be a little bit of an unlucky charm over the course of the weekend, Smalley, but he's putting it to full effect here. 3 wins from 3 starts last night. He'll start from position 4. Can he go through the weekend undefeated? Second attempt at a start, Smalley.
All green in Heat 28. Does Carter Metcalfe have another heat race win in him? He goes to the outside and within a matter of metres has hit the race lead. Tyler Scott followed him around the outside in the WA 8, who was 61st after day 1. Needs some big points as a young man out of Kalgoorlie. He's up into second place, just runs a little bit wide and will kiss the concrete wall in the exit of turn 4 and move full back to fourth place as Lincoln Patterson. The Wrestler Engineering Lancer moves into third. Tyler Scott back to fourth. They're right behind the charade of Stevie Smith. They've done a lot of repairs. Well done to the team from Stevie Smith and Mania 73. The team have done a huge amount of work to get the car back for day 2 to contest not only this heat race but one of the finals later tonight. Stevie sitting in second from Tyler Scott. He's gone back into third place in the 08 Hyundai Excel from Kalgoorlie. Lincoln Patterson is fourth. AJ McDonald in the Q17 is fifth from the V5 of Fletcher Barron, working to the inside of Kira McKercher in the T33. Matilda Farrell, Liam Cameron, who's had a pretty tough weekend in the Q22. Charade from Rockhampton trying to work his way forward in the V77 of Will Fallon, the Fallon's Bus Services. Datsun Sonny rounds out your runners. We've completed 3 laps. And Carter Metcalfe, 22.100, his quick time so far. And the Mildura registered VA10 Hyundai Excel for Mildura Crash Supplies has over 4 seconds back to Stevie Smith, who all of a sudden falling in the clutches of the V48 of Lincoln Patterson, the Wrestler Engineering. Fresh panels on the car this weekend for the national title. And Lincoln is trying to find a way past Stevie Smith. Wants some big points to try and get himself into tonight's A-main automatically. Is Lincoln Patterson all over the back bumper of the 73 is Stevie Smith. The Chaz Kelly Transport Charade just holding on with 3 laps remaining. Tyler Scott not out of a podium spot either. In the 08 Hyundai Excel sits in fourth from the Q17 of AJ McDonald, Fletcher Barron and Kiara McKercher battling for that 6th place. But just 2 to run for Carter Metcalfe. His quick time still that 22.1 as he brings the Hyundai Excel out of turn 2. He now leads by 5.8 seconds from Stevie Smith. Lincoln Patterson continues to throw everything at Stevie Smith. Here he comes in the Alexandra 48. Can he find a way past Stevie Smith? The Lancer Looks inside, he looks to the outside. He's running out of time as Lincoln Patterson. And all of a sudden, he's got Tyler Scott for company. The West Australian looks to the inside of the local Victorian. But Carter Metcalfe, he'll be on the front row with Kane Della for tonight's 25-lap national title A-main for SSA Junior Sedans. The Victorian from Mildura, 144 points for the weekend, just like Kane Della. Stevie Smith is just narrowly going to prevail for second from Lincoln Patterson. Tyler Scott, AJ McDonald rounds out your top 5. After that was the V5 of Fletcher Barron, T33 of Cairo McKercher, and Liam Cameron in the Q22 was 8th. And the charade from Rockhampton from the VA5 of Matilda Farrell, and the V77 of Will Fallon. 10 starters, 10 finishes, green to check out without a stoppage in heat race number 28.
Well, one of the local Victorians from Mildura, Carter Metcalfe, has 4 wins from 4 starts, 144 points, just like Kane Della earlier today. The 2 Hyundai Excels, 1 from Victoria, 1 from Western Australia, will share the front row. Carter just unbuckling the safety gear at the moment, gets his winner's board and Speedway Australia cap. He will be absolutely pumped. Didn't have a whole lot to say after I spoke to him on Friday, but very confident on the microphone with his 3 heat wins. His 3 heat wins last night, and I've just been told through the headset you have the quickest lap time of the weekend, Carter, so you've locked in pole position for the A-main. How does that feel?
Yeah, no, that feels good. I'm happy to just be out here at a national for the first time and starting off pole. That's pretty impressive.
You haven't probably done a whole lot of racing here at Alexandra in the past. How you're finding it? The Hyundai Excel looks pretty hooked up and you're absolutely loving it at the moment.
Yeah, no, I've only been here twice. The track's changed since last night, which I actually kind of like because it just throws a spanner in the works. And yeah, this Hyundai, just love it. Just 4 years of development and it's paying off.
Well, you've got this opportunity. I know you did it last night, but you probably want to thank your supporters once more while you got this opportunity.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Mum and Dad that worked on this car, getting me here, getting me all over Australia. Yeah, all the sponsors just helping out, getting this car done. Travis helping out. Just thanks to everyone that helped on this car.
All the best for the A-main, Carter.
Thank you very much.
Your pole sitter, Carter Metcalfe. Give him a round of applause, Alexandra, one more time for Carter Metcalfe, one of the local Victorians in this weekend's national title. We'll share the front row for the 25-lap A-main under lights later this evening.
Greg Parks to start from 7, Mitch Viney from position number 8, and it looks as though Adam Barkby hasn't made the call for heat race number 2. So heat 2 of the street stocks set to go green here on a beautiful Sunday afternoon at Alexandra Speedway. Green flag not at the ready. We're going to give them the 1 to go signal just to set the mood a little bit before heat race number 2. Down the back chute. Into turns 1 and 2, going the wrong direction, or the street stock direction as I like to call it. Jordan and Barton, your front row. Early dispatch here, and we're green down the main straightaway, and Jordan and Barton are going to level up. The turns 1 and 2, contact, and the cars go side by side. Going to go uphill down the back straightaway, and Roycroft, the big benefactor. The Hulk up the inside in the 82. Looks to go to the lead. And Roycroft, Jordan, and Barton battling 1, 2, and 3. Down the back straightaway is Jordan, Roycroft, and Barton. 1, 2, and 3 as Cornwall goes around the outside. Matt Nelson tries to buy up the inside. We're still side by side for second and third as Daniel Barton, the 2000 Street Stock champion, goes through on the inside, washes up and opens the door. Roycroft trying to capitalise. can't make that work as Ricky Cornwall looking to buy in now as well. Nelson has fallen off the back in 5th. Back to Greg Parks and Lee Goody. Mitch Viney tailing out the field at the moment. Look at the tip in from Daniel Barton, closing on your leader. Jordan, Barton, Roycroft. 1, 2 and 3 across the strikers. Ricky Cornwall looks to buy in here as well. A bit of a push that time from Daniel Barton. He washes off the bottom and loses a couple of car lengths to Jordan. Andrew Jordan through 3 and 4. And 2nd, 3rd and 4th start to close in as Ricky Cornwall goes through into position number 3. Barton starts to close on your leader once again. There's 3 to run. It'll be 2 to go next time past the line. Jordan, your leader. Back to Daniel Barton. Ricky Cornwall and Shane Roycroft, your top 4 in an entertaining heat race number 2. Matt Nelson in 5th starts to gain on the front of the field here. Parks is through to 6th, back to Lee Gooding and Mitch Viney. Big tip in from Cornwall on the bottom side as Roycroft washes side. He'll drop back to 4th or 5th. There's 1 to run for Andrew Jordan. Daniel Barton's been pressuring the whole heat race. As Cornwall, Roycroft and Nelson, 3rd, 4th and 5th. Final throw of the dice for Daniel Barton on the bottom side. But Andrew Jordan will hang on for heat race number 2. Daniel Barton home in 2nd. Ricky Cornwall hangs on for 3rd. Roycroft in 4th. Nelson 5th. A very entertaining heat race number 2. Lee Gooding got home for 6th ahead of Mitch Viney and Greg Parks rounding out your 8 finishes. Alexandra, your own represented there. 1, 2 and 3 for the local Alexandra club. Make some noise for Andrew Jordan.
From row 3, V13 Billy McBride and the V77, both drivers in those older model cars, will go from row 4. And from the back of the bus, from P9, the V66 of Matty Capon. Matty Capon in the 66. So 1 South Australian and 1 Tasmanian taking on the 7 Victorians in this C main. Almost smell like a gearbox or something like that from one of the cars just lingering up here into the tower. So we'll just keep an eye on that throughout this C main, which will be conducted over 10 laps. It's the amount of cars plus 1 lap. We'll take the top 2 out of this C main, 1 each into both of our B mains, which will be out on track in the not too distant future. In fact, we'll have another street stock heat race after this C main to give the 2 transferees a bit of time to prepare for the 2 B mains. And the local Chasman Bryant, the charade, the V29 charade, leads down the back straight for the first of 10 occasions. Alec McMillan, who's made the trip across from the Apple Isle for the national title, trying to get himself into one of our B mains. He's got Jessica O'Donnell to his inside in the V69, moves up into 2nd place. The Lancer, McMillan fighting back on the low line. Then we have Matilda Farrell sitting back there in 4th in the Midwest Imports. Lancer, Tamika Simpson runs 5th on her home track. The younger of the 2 Simpson sisters racing in the national title this weekend. And Matty Capon from P9 has moved up into 6th place after just 2 laps of the Alexandra Speedway. This 10-lap C main, which sees Jasmine Bryant doing a fantastic job out in front. Alex McMillan fighting back on Jessica O'Donnell. Wants that transfer spot. Does the Tasmanian. The only Tasmanian in the C main. He's working to the inside of Jessica O'Donnell, who spins right in front of Matilda Farrell, who had nowhere to go. Tamika Simpson is cannoned into the concrete wall as well. So a heavy crash for a couple of our drivers down there in that hot spot this weekend for all of our incidents. And unfortunately, the same main will come to a stop on lap number 3.
And 2nd place will take up their position in position number 22 at the back of B main number 2 with a big 20 laps ahead of them. So all to play for here. 7 cars still running, 2 spots on offer. Smalley Let's hope it's not time for desperate moves, but this is the last roll of the dice for many of these competitors over this weekend.
It most certainly is. The V29 for Autobahn in Epping, Jasmine Bryant led them to the green flag there. And all of a sudden, the T24 of Alex McMillan just gives the charade a little bit of a touch as they went through turns 1 and 2. And Maddie Capon, who had some dramas on day 1, some mechanical woes kept her out of a couple of heat races, has been the driver on the charge here in the C main. 3/4 track high around the outside of Matilda Farrell, moves up in a 3rd place. So a couple of lady races in the field. In fact, 3 of them, Matilda Farrell, Maddie Capon, and the leader Jasmine Bryant, who again is being challenged by the Tasmanian number 24 of Alex McMillan side by side. The little charade just goes a little bit deeper into the corners of Jasmine Bryant. Maddie Capon trying to steal one of the transfer positions away from McMillan and Bryant with 6 laps remaining, so we're not even halfway home here in the C main. Brought to you by Rassler Engineering, and it's still Alex McMillan who now finds himself in the lead from Jasmine Bryant, Maddie Capon. Billy McBride, the older model Datsun Sunny, goes up into 4th place in the V13 with a nice move down the inside of Matilda Farrell. Will Fallon is amongst it as well. The Fallon's Bus Services, Datsun Sunny, he's sitting in 6th place, and a long way behind the rest of them is the S16 of Corey Richter with the left front guard flapping in the breeze on the side of the Datsun Sunny. But this is where the interest lies. That battle for that final transfer position. Jasmine Bryant, can she hold off a fellow Victorian and a fellow Alexandra member in the V66 of Maddie Capon? We'll have 3.5 laps remaining as they exit turn 2 and head down the back straight past the tyre power sign into turn number 3. And Alex McMillan looking to try and bring home at least a C main victory in the national title, make the trip over from Tasmania worthwhile. The Tasmanian number 24 heads past the start-finish line with 3 laps remaining. Jasmine Bryant is just holding on at the moment from Maddie Capon. The Victoria 66 is throwing everything but the kitchen sink at the Daihatsu charade in front of her. Billy McBride is still 4th from Matilda Farrell. He's got Will Fallon for company on the outside. The V77 looking to the outside of the Midwest Imports Mitsubishi Lancer of Matilda Farrell. But just 2 to run for the Tasmania 24 with a quick time so far at 22.824 and leads by 2.5 seconds back to Jasmine Bryant. And Maddie Capon is fast running out of Alexandra Real Estate to steal that final transfer position as Alex McMillan gets the great news that the white flag is on display. 1 lap remaining of the 600-metre Alexandra Speedway. Jasmine Bryant, Maddie Capon, and Billy McBride, your top 4, as Will Fallon tries to find a way past Matilda Farrell, but past the Foodworks sign into turns 3 and 4 for the final occasion in the C main. The Tasmania 24 of Alex McMillan gets it done, and we'll go into B main number 1. Jasmine Bryant, the local, just holds off another local in Maddie Capon for that second and final transfer position. Billy McBride will be 4th from Matilda Farrell and Will Fallon, with Corey Richter in the S16 7th and the final car to conclude the 10 laps in the C main here today at Alexandra for the Rassler Engineering SSA National Junior Sedan title. But Alex McMillan will be pumped with that. It'll be Alex McMillan going into B main number 1 and the V29 of Jasmine Bryant going into B main number 2. And Alex McMillan winning by just over 3 seconds in that particular event. That was event 11 on your race program today. The C main, Maddie Capon, Billy McBride, Matilda Farrell, Will Fallon, Corey Richter, and unfortunately Tamika Simpson and Jessica O'Donnell with damage.
Sedans on the move, ready to line up for their B main very, very shortly. Just gone past 10 to 5 local time here, Smalley. Sun is in the worst position of the afternoon as green flags at the ready. And heat race number 3 is underway for the street stocks. And Viney gets the better of the start. And will lead down the back straight away for the first time. We're going to be too wide for second as the Barton machine goes to the outside of Gooding. And Daniel Barton moves into position number 2. Switch back to the inside. And we'll have a crack at Viney. So Viney leads, Daniel Barton second. Gooding and Roycroft side by side for third and fourth. Jordan, Nelson, Cornwall all trying to buy in here as Greg Parks is out the back and trying to knock on the door and let himself in as well. Exciting heat race here as Viney runs a little bit deep in 3 and 4 and Daniel Barton switches to the inside. The 2000 National Street Stock Champion takes the lead in heat race number 3, but he's under immense pressure from Shane Roycroft behind him. Viney in third, and it's back to a very thick battle pack in Gooding, Jordan, Nelson, Cornwall, and Viney's gone in 2 deep in 3 and 4 and left it against the concrete, waiting for the yellow to be thrown, and he doesn't get what he's wished for. We stay green here as Daniel Barton and Roycroft both have a little bobble out the front that time and roll down the back straight away 1 and 2. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, look at the battle. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. You can throw the proverbial tea towel over the lot of them as Cornwall switches to the inside. A little bit of contact from Andrew Jordan. Meanwhile, Matt Nelson's ploughing a field on the infield and goes through to position number 5. Make that 4, and the Queensland champion, the Alexandra local, goes through to position number 4. Barton and Roycroft, a little bit of contact, and we all hold our breath as Barton gathers the car back in and Shane Roycroft goes through to the lead. The Hulk and the 82 into 1 and 2 will lead down the back straight away. Daniel Barton runs second, Ricky Cornwall third, back to Matt Nelson in fourth, and this time Roycroft sails in a little bit deep, and Daniel Barton fighting back on the inside. They lay panel to panel down the main straight away into 1 and 2, and the former national champion will retake the lead with 2 laps left to run around the 570 metre Alexandra Speedway. The Simo's Fiberglass AX94 through 3 and 4 will greet the white flag. There'll be 1 to run this time past the strike as Roycroft tries to fight back, has no answers. We're still side by side for 3rd and 4th as Nelson prevails over Ricky Cornwall. Greg Parks falls to the infield with a flat right rear. Into 3 and 4 for the final time though. And borrowing his son's car for the weekend, Daniel Barton will finish in first in heat race number 3. Roycroft home in second. Matt Nelson, the Queensland champion, home in third, and Ricky Cornwall fourth in another very entertaining heat race as Andrew Jordan rolls past Ricky Cornwall and lets him know what he thinks of him. He finished 5th, Gooding 6th, Mitch Viney the last car to finish with Parks on the infield. How about it? Alexandra, it's one of your local cars. He's the former 2000 National Street Stock champion, Daniel Barton, winding back the clock on a Sunday afternoon. And a very excited cameraman has him in his shot, watching his car roll around to great success here in heat race number 3. Not too far away from B-Main number 1 in the Street Stocks. We'll take a quick commercial break and come back with Alan Smallwood with the call for B-Main number 1.
It's elbows up time. It's time to get up on the wheel. Last chance saloon for these drivers in B-Main number 1. 20 long laps ahead of him. And the Rassler Engineering Mitsubishi Lancer of Lincoln Patterson starting from pole position out of the Dubbo City Speedway in central New South Wales. Jackson Goldie, they're occupying the front row. 22 starters, 20 laps ahead of him. B-Main number 1 is underway. And Brody Day from Western Australia with an outstanding start from the outside of the second row, up challenging the leaders as they head through turns 1 and 2 and down the back straight under a beautiful sunshine here in central Victoria. And Cameron Smith getting amongst it, as is Billy McDonald, who goes super deep. It's a little bit of stuff going on towards the tail of the field, but they gather themselves up and the green lights stay on. There's a 5-car war for the race lead. Jackson Goldie on the bottom. Patterson on the outside as Brody Day sitting in that final transfer position as the Bundaberg Queensland driver of Billy McDonald on the outside of him. Cameron Smith sits in 5th place. And we've gone yellow. We got caution on the Speedway. Just trying to pick up. There's a bonnet on the racetrack here in the front straight. That appears to be the problem. I was looking over towards the back section of the racetrack, but just underneath my nose, we've got our crash crew jumping down on the racetrack.
And I dare say,
the Metcalfe Mitsubishi Lancer, by the looks of things, is missing the bonnet. So just completed the one circulation of the Alexandra Speedway. 19 laps remaining. And B-Main number 1, the Rassler Engineering Mitsubishi Lancer of Lincoln Patterson will lead them single file to the green flag. The Alexandra number 48 made the best of that opening lap. Brody Day sitting in that final transfer position. He finished third in this national title 2 years ago when it was held over in his home state in Western Australia. Further back in the field, it looked like AJ McDonald has fell well back through the field in the Q17 from Bundaberg. His brother Billy McDonald is battling with Cameron Smith for 4th place. Cameron Smith in the V14, Anna Mildura. Logan Mayer is 6th in the V61 from Shani Farrell, Jacob Timworth, Rye Orm and Jack Murphy in the ACT 55 rounding out your top 10. But a great battle for the minors in progress. Behind our race leader, the V48 of Lincoln Patterson, supported by smooth suspension. Jackson Goldie from Dubbo sits in second, and all the way from Narrogin in Western Australia, Brody Day has that final transfer position in his keeping. The meatball flag coming on the T14 Mitsubishi Lancer of Macaulay O'Reilly, who retires from the race after just 3 laps completed in B-Main number 1. It's Patterson, Goldie, Brody Day, Cameron Smith, Billy McDonald. Those 5 have got clear of the rest of the field. Logan Mayer is 6th from Shani Farrell. Jacob Timworth is 8th. 9th is Jack Murphy. Rye Orm is 10th from Cooper Reid. The Queensland 17 is 11th. 12th is the VA 51 from Swan Hill. Is Lockie Bull. After that is Sophie Santon, Harry Cecil, Blake Glynn, Liam Cameron, Stevie Smith, AJ McDonald and Alex McMillan. With the 2 Tasmanian Mitsubishi Lancers of McKercher and Riley on the infield. And also out there as well is the S12 of Max Richter. And look at the battle for the race lead now. Jackson Goldie not content with just running second in this B-Main to get himself into the big dance. He wants to find a way past Lincoln Patterson. We've only completed 6 laps. Look at the 17 going to work on the inside of Lincoln Patterson. He got a little bit inconvenienced, and Brody Day doesn't have to be asked twice. The Narrogin Earth moving number 8 goes up into second place with a fantastic outside move. Goldie trying to fight back. Those 2 Hyundai Excels are going to race wheel to wheel here into the front straight away at Alexandra Speedway in Central Victoria. And Brody Day, will he challenge the race leader Lincoln Patterson? Goldie again to the inside, and don't discount the sign effects. Hyundai Excel from Mildura of Cameron Smith. Smith to the outside of Goldie, ran out of the racetrack, just got squeezed. Did Cameron Smith, and I think it's damaged the right front wheel. It's broken. It's actually blocked the whole right wheel off the 14 car, and he's come to a stop down there in turn 3 as Cameron Smith. So unfortunately, Cameron, who was challenging for a transfer position, has come to grief. Our team from Ash Media, I believe, have got the replay coming up for the folks watching at home. In just a few moments' time, Cameron Smith, he went to the outside on Jackson Goldie, and the gap was there, and unfortunately, when he got there, it closed up.
And he'll take up his position in 2nd or 3rd. I'm not 100% certain, Smalley. It's been a little while since the stoppage.
Jackson Goldie to restart in P3 behind the yellow Hyundai Excel in front of him of Brody Day. B-Main 1, which has been going for nearly 13 minutes now, is back underway. So we're just approaching 20 past 5 here in Central Victoria. And the V48 of Lincoln Patterson, one of the home track heroes, looking to get himself into the A-Main on his home track and a national title. Jackson Goldie sitting in those final 2 transfer positions, and you know that Billy McDonald wants to steal one of them away from the Hyundai Excels in front of him. Very confident young man sitting in 5th place, that being the V61 of Logan Mayer. The Tasmania 35 of Shani Farrell is 6th from the ACT 55, Jack Murphy. The V7 of Jacob Timworth has fellow Victorian Lockie Bull behind him, and rounding out your top 10 is Sophie Santin in that Mitsubishi Lancer from the Northern Rivers region of New South Wales. Sent into the inside of Lockie Bulls. Stevie Smith has spun down there in turn number 4. And the Daihatsu Charade from Tasmania. And I think the yellow lights will have to come on. The 73 is not going anywhere in a hurry. So with 9 laps completed, we've got a yellow light stoppage once more. Stevie Smith has managed to pluck a gear and get the 73 car mobile.
The last of your running cars at the moment is Cameron Smith, Michaela O'Reilly and Kiana McKercher on the infield. There's green flag at the ready here. And still some distance to go in B-main number 1.
Yeah, 11 laps remaining, so just under halfway home. And the V48 of Lincoln Patterson continues to lead this one. Can he survive the final 11 laps? Logan Mayer to the inside of Billy McDonald, challenging for 4th place. Shani Farrell and Jack Murphy, who's been on the comeback trail all day today. Change of gearbox after a heavy crash on night number 1. Sitting back there in 7th, he is not without a shout of getting into tonight's A-main for the SSA National Junior Sedan title, brought to you by Rassler Engineering. And Brody Day, the West Australian, challenging the Victorian Lincoln Patterson on the exit of turn number 2. Jackson Goldie and Billy McDonald, who's been nipping at the heels of the 3 in front of him throughout this race, is still right there. It's a 4-car battle for 3 transfer positions. Jack Murphy and Shani Farrell make heavy contact on the exit of turn number 4, and I think Shani Farrell might have some steering damage, start to fall through the field in the T35. With their line astern over our top 4, with all lapping in the mid-22-second bracket at the moment. Billy McDonald again to the inside of Jackson Goldie. They're side by side, the Lancer digging on the bottom. He might have just carted Jackson Goldie wide enough to get that final transfer position. And the Queensland number 2 moves into 3rd place. Jackson Goldie with a big lunge into turn number 1 to the inside. He hails from the Dubbo City Speedway in central New South Wales as Jackson Goldie, and he's having a great battle with Bundaberg's Billy McDonald, who's 3/4 track guy in turn number 4. We've got a car that's come to a stop way over there in turn number 2. Hard to see from our vantage point with the sun beating in our eyes at the moment. It's Stevie Smith, for the 2nd time in the race, has brought the yellow lights on. Not sure if young Stevie had a helping hand in coming to grief down there in turn number 2, just on the other side of the big tree we have on the infield here at Alexandra.
Hard luck for Jacob Tinworth. There's green flag at the ready. Alan Smallwood. Let's bring him home. We're going to go green from here on out. I'm calling it now.
I'm confident as well, Jared, as we'll bring him home here in B-main number 1. Lincoln Patterson leading Brody Day, and all of a sudden Billy McDonald finds himself in that final transfer position. Logan Mayer straight away to the inside of Jackson Goldie, trying to work his way forward in the V61. He's on the charge ahead of Jack Murphy. Harry Cecil is now 7th from Shani Farrell, Lockie Bull and Cooper Reid. As Stevie Smith just has a half spin further back in the field and falls to the tail. But we've now completed 13 laps in B-main number 1. And once again, Brody Day going to work on the back bumper of the V48 of Lincoln Patterson, the Mitsubishi Lancer in front of him. Billy McDonald and Jackson Goldie, that's going to be the battle for that final transfer position. You have to feel the V61 of Logan Mayer. ACT 55, Jack Murphy. The V21 of Harry Cecil is 7th. From the VA 51, Lockie Bull. N18 out of Lismore, Sophie Stanton rounds out your top 10. And Stevie Smith in the T73 has now retired from the race in the charade. There'll be 5 laps remaining for our leaders. We're 3/4 of the way through B-main 1. And it's Lincoln Patterson from Brody Day, Billy McDonald and Jackson Goldie. 4 doesn't go into 3. So one of these guys will miss out. Who will it be? Brody Day, he might be content to stay there in 2nd place. Not sure if there's a little bit of debris on the racetrack down there midway through turns 1 and 2, but the green lights have stayed on. And Jackson Goldie to the inside of Billy McDonald for that final transfer position. It's Hyundai Excel versus Mitsubishi Lancer. It's just a plastic bumper down there in turn number 1, so that won't worry our officials from Speedway Sedans Australia. It's starting to get pretty willing in the concluding stages of B-main 1. Lincoln Patterson, the most important laps he's ever done around Alexandra Speedway, and he's just holding off the West Australian Brody Day from a little farming community 2 hours southeast of Perth called Narrogin in Western Australia. and he's throwing everything at Lincoln Patterson as Brody Day in that Coolcrow Automotive number 8. Can he find a way past Lincoln Patterson for a B main victory? Doesn't have to do anything silly here now. Brody Day, not that he would know it, but he's got a little bit of gap between himself and Jackson Goldie. He's in that final transfer position. He's getting the better of Billy McDonald. Logan Mayer, a distant 5th from Jack Murphy. Oh, the right front's got collapsed on the V61 of Logan Mayer. He just didn't turn left halfway through turn number 2, and he's managed to jump on the brakes and keep the car out of the concrete wall. But we've got a stoppage late in this B main. And Logan Mayer, unfortunately, was running out of time to get to one of those final transfer positions. He won't complete the 20 laps here.
But it's all on the line for these two competitors for 3rd and 4th. One spot between the two of those guys. Who's it going to be, Alan Smallwood?
We are about to find out in just a few moments' time. Lincoln Patterson, unaware of who's been behind him for the majority of the race, you have to feel. There's been the little yellow flashes every once in a while as Brody Day has looked to the inside of him. 1.5 laps remaining for Lincoln Patterson to record the biggest win of his career on his home track here at Alexandra. The V48 leading the WA8 of Brody Day in the NA17 of Jackson Goldie. They have a comfortable gap back to Billy McDonald in the Q2. And the ACT 55 of Jack Murphy, who's come from P11 up into the top 5 towards the end of this one. But down the back straight for the last time. Bring him home, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a Victorian, a West Australian, and a New South Welshman going through into the A main here at the SSA National Junior Sedan title. Well done to Lincoln Patterson, Brody Day, and Jackson Goldie. Your drivers missing out will be Billy McDonald, who will be officially 4th from Jack Murphy. Lockie Bull was 6th. Shani Farrell was 7th at the Tasmania 35 from Harry Cecil. Sophie Santin and Rye Orm, your top 10 in B main number 1. But at this point in time, Alexandra, get up on your feet and let Lincoln Patterson know you're out there. The Wrestler Engineering Mitsubishi Lancer is into the A main on his home track in the Victoria 48. The WA8 of Brody Day and the NA17 of Jackson Goldie will start position 17, 19 and 21 in tonight's 25-lap A main for the SSA National Junior Sedan title. Your lights are flashing, means we're going to get a start next time around. It's time for these guys to get after it to get one of the 3 final transfer positions. The even B main number 2, Will Shaw, Jack Randall, a pair of Victorians starting on the front row. And Will Shaw in his last national title in junior sedans. Can he get himself into the 25-lap A main? We're all set to go. B main number 2 is underway, and Will Shaw with an outstanding start from pole position in the Adam Holt Industries number 15 will lead him out of turn 2 and down the back straight for the first time. Tanner Barclay getting amongst it. Unfortunately, the Northern Territory 43 of River Spitzpath has just been shuffled well back early in this one. Brandon Austin on the charge, as is the V43 of Toby Parks. We're going to go through the opening lap unscathed, without an incident. 1 down and 19 remaining in B main number 2. The final race before the A main in this weekend's national title. And Will Shaw, he was out via right up the top of the hill there, just about in turns 1 and 2. He went that wide. Jack Randall takes the race lead. Will Shaw's trying to fight back. Barton, Patterson and Tanner Barclay, the Victorians, run 1 through 5. Another Victorian further back amongst them. That's Christine Oliver in 7th. They've got the Tasmanian champion Nate Garwood to contend with in the T77. Brandon Austin, River Spitzpath and Seth Sloan. Your top 10 is Nate Garwood going to work, moves up into the top 5. And look at River Patterson digging on the bottom. Jack Randall's gone from first back to 4th in the blink of an eye as the Tasmanian champion just got into the side a little bit of the 95 of Tanner Barclay that time around. The race continues, the green lights stay on. And Will Shaw continues to lead this one in the V15 out of the Timber Speedway in Mildura. That's his home track. And he'll start piloting a modified sedan around there in 12 months' time. But for the moment, he's in the National Junior Sedan title in his home state, and he's barely holding on at the moment. Kierona Barton and River Patterson are coming after our race leader. Jack Randall's gone back to 4th. And Christine Oliver doing a nice job in the back of Smash Towing 62 has worked her way up into the top 5 from Brandon Austin. River Spitzbath is 7th from Nate Garwood, Tanner Barclay, Seth Sloan, and the first of the rear-wheel drive cars, that being Mitchell McClure. As we got one in the fence, Christine Oliver, unfortunately, has come to grief in turn number 4 in the V62, and it's plucked the right front wheel off the charade. So another lengthy stoppage coming up here in B main number 2 with 4 laps completed. And Will Shaw with the quick time so far at 22.661.
Yes, as we just picked that up from our infield camera as well, Smalley. That's some serious damage for the 62.
So it's 2 Mitsubishi Mirages leading the Lancer of River Patterson and another Lancer of Jack Randell, all Victorians sitting in the top 4 positions. Tasmania driver Brandon Austin, what a remarkable effort from the team to have that car turned around a massive rollover last night in Pitt's Corner. And the T65 is back for this second night and win with a chance of qualifying into the A main. River Spitzbath, the Tasmanian champion Nate Garwood, and also Tanner Barclay, all in the battle for these final 3 transfer positions. Who will start positions 18, 20, and 22 in the A main for this year's National Junior Sedan title? We are back underway with this one, and Will Shaw has got this one safely in his keeping at the moment. Marina Barton, River Patterson, and also Brandon Austin are going to battle right down to the line along with Jack Randall as Austin. He's gone as close as you want to go to that concrete wall down there in Pitt's Corner. He's lost the rear bumper. Not for the first time this weekend from the Hyundai Excel, and the yellow lights have come on. Jasmine Bryant, it looks like she's had a spin as well down there in Pitt's Corner. And they're going to just try and retrieve that rear plastic bumper from the racetrack, which belongs to the driver of the T65, Brandon Austin. I think there's a little bit more debris as well on the track down here in turn number 1. We've had the witch's hat taken out, I believe. So that's not what you like to see at all. I'm not sure what we're going to do for a witch's hat. Might be able to attach that back to the rope, but it's been collected by one of our competitors. I might head next door, Jared, and find out what's happened there to our witch's hat and if there'll be any penalties forthcoming.
Yes, and as you do that, Smalley, a big shout out to Murray Forrest tuning in on the Speedway Sedans live stream. He's a wonderful member of the Victorian Speedway community. And
16 laps remain here in B main 2, which has been going for 11 and a half minutes at this point in time. Just coming up on 10 past 6 here in Victoria. And we're back underway with this one. Straight away, River Patterson is the man looking to make the moves. He's got the 19 in front of him of Kiana Barton, the Mitsubishi Mirage. Brandon Austin and Jack Randall having a great battle for 4th and 5th place, just ahead of River Spitzbath and Nate Garwood, your top 7. 8th is Tanner Barclays. We've got a couple getting together down in turn 4. Toby Parks and Braden Kane have come together. Tyler Scott was in amongst that as well in the 08 Hyundai Excel. So Toby Parks looks like he's going back to his original position in the field prior to that stoppage. And it's going to restart in front of Braden Kane. Not sure if Kane will be going to the rear of the field or there'll be any relegations at all. Might be deemed to be a racing incident.
Splinters.
Not going to get a start this time around. In fact, we are. Toby Parks was a little bit out of position. In fact, I think Toby Parks has been sent to the rear of the field. He's eventually gone back there in the 63. So B main 2 resumes in earnest. And once again, Will Shaw continues to control the race at the front of the field. Barton, Patterson, top 3. They're in the transfer positions from Jack Randall and Brandon Austin, the T65. Rounding out your top 5, River Spitzbath is 6th from Nate Garwood, Tanner Barclay, Seth Sloan, and Jaden Locke, the top 10 in the number 4 from the Simpson Car Club in Western Victoria. But Will Shaw, the man of the moment, had a heat race win earlier today in the final round of heat race competition in this year's Rassler Engineering National Junior Sedan title. And the 15 continues to control the race. with 14 laps remaining. He's three-quarter track high down there in turn 2. And Kierina Barton is very keen on the race lead. The Nyora registered 19 has closed the gap on Will Shaw. The two Mirages work their way out of turn 4 into the front straight in front of a healthy crowd on a Sunday evening here at Alexandra. The Alexandra 47 of River Patterson holding on to the final transfer position. He's a sparring partner on a weekly basis here at this racetrack. Jack Randall is knocking on the door big time, and don't discount the Tasmanian, who's thrown everything at this weekend. The Tasmanian 65 of Brandon Austin. Austin momentarily into 4th. Randall trying to fight back as they negotiate the lap car of Tyson Heafy. Austin and Randall get together as they enter turn number 1. Bit of contact between them, and the Hyundai Excel of Austin has 4th place in his keeping. Jack Randall just got a little bit inconvenienced by the slower car. The two Mirages of Spitzbath and Garwood now climbing onto the back of Jack Randall in that battle for 5th place. But we have 11 laps remaining in B main number 2. Will Shaw, Kierina Barton, and the 47 of River Patterson, your top 3. Brandon Austin, Jack Randall, River Spitzbath, Nate Garwood, Tanner Barclay, Mitchell McClure is 9th, the VA 8th from Mildura. The V4 of Jaden Lockrand at your top 10. Seth Sloan is 11th, and 12th is the WA 08 of Tyler Scott, the Hyundai Excel from Kalgoorlie Boulder. B main number 2 has 10 laps remaining. We're halfway home, and look at that 3-car battle for those 2 transfer positions, Barton, Patterson and Austin. And you got to feel Brandon Austin is the one most likely to make a move at this point in time. And the T65 Hyundai Excel knocking on the door on River Patterson, who's looking to join his brother Lincoln in the main event. The Rassler Engineering, Alexandra number 47 looks to the inside with the Nyora 19 of Kierina Barton. They're side by side down the back straight of the 2 Mitsubishi products from right here in Victoria. Barton and Patterson side by side, a great battle for 2nd and 3rd. Look at Brandon Austin go to the bottom side of the racetrack, hugging the pole line on the exit of turn 4. Jack Randall and River Spitzbath not out of this one either. 7th is Nate Garwood, the Tasmanian champion. 8th is Tanner Barclay. 9th, Mitchell McClure. And rounding out your top 10 is Jaden Locke in the V4 Mitsubishi Lancer, as Patterson now a big lunge into turn number 3. The 47 goes up into 2nd place. Barton trying to fight back on the low line, but I think Patterson's got the job done. They're line astern for 2nd and 3rd. Barton was breathing on the back bumper of Patterson as they entered turn number 1. That time around, 7 laps remain. The 600-metre Alexandra Speedway. Patterson now has 2nd. Brandon Austin's coming for the final transfer position. The T65 as River Spitzbath and Jack Randall get together. And the 2 Mitsubishis have unfortunately come to grief in Pitt's corner. The 43 River Spitzbath got the worst of that, I think, in the concrete wall. The blue Mitsubishi Mirage from Darwin, just 11 years of age, a fantastic little driver. But we'll find out if Randall and River Spitzbath are able to continue. We'll wait for our official's decision on the incident. 7 laps remain in B main number 2. Will Shaw, River Patterson and Kierina Barton sit in those transfer positions at the moment. Brandon Austin, what's he got? For the top 3 Victorians in front of him, Jack Randall inside the top 5. Unfortunately, River Spitzbath out of this one in the Northern Territory, number 43, and we've got one in the wall down in turns 1 and 2. Toby Parks, he's gone hard left to take the Hyundai Excel to the infield, and the green lights will stay on his fairly precarious position down there in turn number 2, and the yellow lights will come on once more. The caution is out in B main number 2.
All of the modified sedan Murray Magic at Timmer Speedway, courtesy of Speedway Sedans Australia and the support they've thrown behind that, as well as the national production sedan title at Kingaroy Speedway next weekend. So tune in if you can't make a track start anywhere, as B main number 2 is back underway, Smalley.
It is indeed, with 7 to run. And River Patterson has got designs on the right lead. Has a look to the inside of Will Shaw. Kierina Barton and Brandon Austin are going to battle right to the end of this one for that final transfer position. But can it be Patterson, boys? Back-to-back wins in the B main. We're about to find out in a few laps' time. The AX47 digging on the bottom on the Mildura 15 of Will Shaw. And Brandon Austin What a comeback. He's up into third place. He's just lost the boot from the Hyundai Excel on the exit of turn 2. It's on the racetrack up by the concrete wall just in front of the Alexandra Speedway sign. And Brandon Austin, minus the boot, minus the rear bumper. He's got pretty much nothing on the back of the Hyundai Excel now. Remarkable. It's barely holding together this car, but it's a little rocket ship as he comes after River Patterson. Look at that battle for second place. He's coming after Patterson as Brandon Austin. Kirina Barton is trying to go back underneath of Brandon Austin and takes back that final transfer position with 4 laps remaining of Alexandra Speedway. Jack Randall is 5th from Nate Garwood. Mitchell McClure now goes to 7th down the inside of Tyler Scott. The West Australian trying to fight back. In fact, it's Tanner Barclay back there on the outside of Mitchell McClure. Then Jaden Locke and Seth Sloan. What a battle for the minors. Will Shaw's managed to put a bit of real estate between himself and Patterson, has got Barton and Brandon Austin either side of him at the moment. It's just starting to back up a little bit behind River Patterson in that battle for second place. So hustle down the back straight into turn number 3. Just 2 laps remaining for the Adam Holt Industries V15 of young Will Shaw from Mildura. River Patterson just holding on to second from Kirina Barton. Brandon Austin, Jack Randall, the Tasmanian champion Nate Garwood is 6th. Mitchell McClure 7th. Tanner Barclay, Seth Sloan and Jaden Locke, your top 10. But our junior sedans absolutely flying under lights around the Alexandra Speedway here in country Victoria. Just 1 lap to run for Will Shaw. It's been the longest 20 laps of his life around the Alexandra Speedway. Just 1 to run. Brandon Austin, can he make it happen? You know he's going to go super deep into the final corner, you'd have to imagine. Look at him take the Hyundai Excel to the outside. Here comes Brandon Austin. Super deep to the outside of Kirina Barton. Stood it up on 2 wheels. Will Shaw takes the win. Patterson, Austin, Barton to the line. Oh, too close to call on the race bonnet. I'll go next door. What a photo finish between them. Brandon Austin, River Patterson and Kirina Barton. Let's head next door, Jared Ash, to find out who will be in the show.
What a drag to the flag for the final transfer spot in tonight's 25-lap feature race. We'll cross to Alan Smallwood for the official decision.
How about that, Alexandra? If that doesn't turn you on, you haven't got a switch. That was awesome stuff from the junior sedans. Will Shaw wins by 2.5 seconds. Back to River Patterson is in the show. And the V19 of Kirina Barton by 0.091 of a second over the T65 of Brandon Austin. There was only, there was nothing between Patterson. It was 0.032 in actual fact between Barton and Austin, and 0.091 between Patterson and Barton. So the 3 Victorian
Go switch, go style. So there'll be 1 to run before we set off for 10 laps in this direction and 10 laps in the conventional direction. And the 1999/2000 National Street Stock Champion Daniel Barton turned back the clock. He'll start from pole in tonight's feature race. Alongside him, the current Queensland champion Matt Nelson. The second row will be Ricky Cornwall and the Hulk Shane Roycroft. Andrew Jordan will start from position number 5, and alongside him will be Lee Gooding in the 41. Back to Parks and Viney, rounding out your starting field here. 8 cars to go around for tonight's feature race. 20 laps on the counter. A little warm-up ahead of our National Junior Sedan title of We Are Green in the Stockies here at Alexandra Speedway. As they fire down into the tight turns 1 and 2 complex, going the wrong direction. Lee Gooding goes through the inside as Andrew Jordan was out of shape, and he'll drop to the back of the bus. But it's Daniel Barton who leads. Nelson on the inside. Barton goes high, wide, and it's not very handsome as he's going to drop back to position number 3. Nelson will lead lap 1 from Roycroft. Back to Daniel Barton, then Lee Gooding. Ricky Cornwall runs 5th. The top line is not the place to be at the moment after a little bit of a track rework. And Parks will now drop to the back of the bus after his little incident. So our street stocks go back to the bottom. And Nelson will continue to lead in the Waste and Oil Queensland #1 machine. Roycroft tips it in from the pit gate, going the opposite direction. Back to Daniel Barton in third. And Poppy Lee Gooding running in fourth. Cornwall with a little bit of work to do back in fifth, but a long feature race to go here. Viney runs sixth, back to Andrew Jordan, and Parks rounding out your top eighters. Cornwall looks to the inside of Lee Gooding and makes a little bit of room for himself for the 15, and he will move through to position number 4 as Gooding a little bit out of shape that time. And lets through Greg Parks into position number 5. Now Gooding is on the struggle bus and backing it up, unfortunately. So as we run, it's the Queensland champion Matt Nelson out the front, back to Roycroft second. Daniel Barton running third, then Ricky Cornwall in fourth. Mitch Viney runs fifth at the moment. Then it's Andrew Jordan, Lee Gooding and Greg Parks. Yeah, 8 competitors on the racetrack at the moment. As Daniel Barton goes to the inside of Roycroft and moves through to position number 2 now. The Simo's fiberglass, Alexandra 94 into position 2 and locked down on the bottom. Driving it straight and fast. Roycroft a little bit free through turns 3 and 4 that time. It allows Ricky Cornwall to buy into this, and Roycroft is putting on an expression session at the moment, but not gaining much go forward as Viney and Andrew Jordan were battling for 5th and 6th down the back straightaway that time. You see him on our Speedway Sedan's live coverage powered by Pro One Race Parts. Andrew Jordan up into P5 now. But as they run, it's Nelson, Barton, Roycroft and Cornwall, your top 4 who've split away from the rest of the field. Be 2 to go until the first stoppage where we turn around and go the other direction. Roycroft starting to fall back into the clutches of Ricky Cornwall. And as we await the change in direction, we'll wait and see whose car rolls around better the conventional way. But Barton is reeling in Matt Nelson for the lead here. 1 to run before we change ends. Switch sides and go again. So Nelson will come to the strike this time and be greeted by the yellow flag. Barton comes through in P2. Roycroft still third. Cornwall fourth. Jordan, Gooding, Viney and Parks as the yellow is going to fall on the raceway, and we're going to turn these things around and go back the opposite direction for another 10. As they pull up onto the infield here and reverse direction. We should have done an 18-lap feature, Alan Small. We could have done 6, 6 and 6. The last 6 had to go through the dog leg.
That's actually a very cool idea. That's quite inventive of you.
We're making up feature race formats on the fly here.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure the car owners would love me right now.
Going anti-clockwise now around the Alexandra Speedway. Street stocks flying, and I wonder how much Tyler Barton is actually enjoying having his dad in his car. Is it a nerve-wracking experience, you reckon, for him, or he's just loving the fact that he's got the former national champion out there on track?
Well, the former national champion is going all right. We're going to go a Delaware restart here. Come on, turn it up. Look at us go here in the stockies tonight. So leader out the front will be side by side beyond that. Thumbs up from the chief steward. Green flag is at the ready. We're going to go a Delaware restart with 10 to run and the go switch go. Nelson, Barton and Roycroft, they're 3 across the track of the restart. Cornwall pokes his nose in there as well. Shane Roycroft, the Hulk with the big move on the outside, if you don't mind. Down the back straight away, we're going to be 3 wide into turns 3 and 4. Roycroft and Cornwall have come from the absolute clouds as Roycroft still hosting an expression session out the front. The car is free. As free as our Speedway Sedan's live coverage at the moment as he goes through turns 1 and 2, leading the street stock feature race tonight here at Alexandra Speedway. Back to Cornwall in second, Nelson in third. Daniel Barton running fourth. Then it's Jordan in fifth as we've got some contact for last position. And Parks goes to the inside of the beautifully turned out Viney machine. Down the back straight away again. We're 2 laps in, 8 to run in this second segment of tonight's feature race. Roycroft sails it into turns 3 and 4. Cornwall tries to capitalise but can't go with him at the moment. Nelson now ranging up onto your top 2 and Barton running the bottom like a boss. It's shot spec through the slick on the bottom. The veterans at work in position number 4 as he just gets a little out of shape that time. It loses some ground to the top 3. But Roycroft still leads. Ricky Cornwall won the feature race last night as there's a car around in turns 3 and 4. We're staying green as he gets it around and back onto the infield. Good job to Mitch Viney there that time. In the G23 machine as we stay green, Roycroft and Cornwall have split away from the field here now. Cornwall looks to the inside again. And the Hulk, Shane Roycroft, leads us down the back straight away. His wife Felicity currently racing at the other end of the state, probably watching it online, and he's side by side with Ricky Cornwall into turns 1 and 2. Cornwall on the bottom, Roycroft on the top. We're side by side, still down the back straight away here at Alexandra Speedway into 3 and 4. Roycroft locks it on the bottom, tries to keep it down there, but gets a little bit out of shape. Cornwall with a good run off the bottom. Square and fast as a pair of FG Falcons going hammer and tongs into 1 and 2. Roycroft prevails back around the outside and will be 2 to run next time by. The Hulk is turning up at the right time of the night. He sails in deep in 3 and 4 and opens the door again. We're still side by side for the lead. The smooth suspension Falcon of Ricky Cornwall gets the power to the ground and takes the lead into turns 1 and 2. Roycroft switch back to the inside now. Down into 3 and 4. Nelson trying to buy in as well. Roycroft can't keep it at the bottom and Nello goes the top side into the wall. And Roycroft spins around at the outside of turn 4. The white flag is out. We're staying green on the raceway. And Ricky Cornwall will go down the back straight away for the final time through 3 and 4. And the Alexandra number 16 will win a very entertaining street stock race for our support category tonight. Matt Nelson, the Queensland champion, home in second, and Daniel Barton, the former national champion, in third on his return. What a feature race for a support category. The Stockies have turned it on. Come on, Alexandra, make some noise for one of your own. Ricky Cornwall gets the win in a very entertaining street stock feature race. Nello was valiant in second, and how about you clap your hands together for Shane Roycroft as well, who put on a ripping performance. Finished in position number 7, but take nothing away from your battle at the front. Cornwall prevails. In the Ripper Stickers Baywater Diff Service, Alexandra 16, Ricky Cornwall going for his lap of honour with the checkered flag. And if that's a precursor for what we're in for tonight's National Junior Sedan title feature race, Alan Smallwood, I am a very pumped up man. The Streeties, they never fail to disappoint. Now, juniors, I'm sure the feature race will be equally as entertaining as that.
Street stocks, easily the most popular division for a spectator point of view under the Speedway Sedans Australia umbrella. The numbers that you see on the live stream for a street stock national title or any major street stock event around the country, massive. And that was just a little bit of a sample piece of
That's
what
why.
those guys are capable of. That's just why.
There was 8 of them here, and they put on that show.
Yeah, that was awesome. Like my home track at Allenbrook in Western Australia, it's a bit of a mainstay of street stocks, and it doesn't matter if they're racing for $20 to win, they always put on a show at that particular venue and all around the country too. SSA Street Stocks, just one race to come, Jared. So I think there'll be a little bit of a break before we have our 22 car.
Formation for the presentation. As they start to make their way on the racetrack, Alan Smallwood.
Part of this 25-lap A-main on their home track here at Alexandra Speedway. The drivers moving into position to stand alongside their car in readiness to receive their placards for qualifying into the A-main, being one of the 22 finalists. Without further ado, we'll bring Greg Lynn forward along with Rob Patterson from Rassler Engineering, starting from position number 22, the V19 of Karina Barton. Out of position number 21 from the Dubbo City Speedway Club in New South Wales, Jackson Goldie. Out of P20, one of the Rassler Engineering Mitsubishi Lancers from here in Alexandra, River Patterson. From P19, all the way from Narrogin in Western Australia, finished third in this event 2 years ago. For Narrogin Earth Moving, Brody Day. And the first of your B main winners from P18 from Mildura, Victoria, the V15, it's Will Shaw. And the second of the Patterson brothers, the older of the two, the V48, Lincoln Patterson will go from P17 and the national title A-main on his home track. The first of the automatic qualifiers from position number 16, and the red line roll cage is Mitsubishi Mirage from the northern suburbs of Perth, the West Australian champion, Bo Oldfield. From P15, the third generation driver from the Bundaberg Saloon Car Club, Q11, Curtis Peel. From P14, she finished runner-up in the Tasmanian title down at Carrick in February. From right here in Alexandra, the V10 of Bree Simpson. Out of P13, a heat race win yesterday afternoon in the V12, Nathan Miles in the Mitsubishi Lancer. And this young fella travelled 4,000 kilometres one way to be there this weekend from the Hillview Speedway Club in the East Pilbara region in Western Australia. Donnie Davis in the WA number 3, TLC Contracting Mitsubishi Lancer. Out of P11 from Northern New South Wales, from the Lismore Automobile Club, it's Jaden Santon in the Mitsubishi Lancer. Now into our top 10, the Q32 from Bundaberg in Queensland, Kane Richters. Out of P9 with 2 heat race wins this weekend, the Q12 Mitsubishi Mirage, Brody Hollyman. And plenty of noise for this young man, another one of the locals in the V49, a member of the Alexandra Speedway Club, Jaden Bryant will go from P8. From position number 7, 2 heat race wins this weekend, the current South Australian champion, Aaron Trenter. Now into our first 3 rows, the Queensland champion from the Gympie Saloon Car Club, the Q28, it's Aidan Rigby. Out of position number 5 in the Q23 from the Gold Coast, Harry Fowler in the Mitsubishi Mirage. From the outside of the second row, from the Maryborough Sporting Car Club, the Q7, Jaden Hancock. Out to position number 3, the 2021 Tasmanian Junior Sedan champion. It's the T48, Lockie Robbins. And your front row, one of 2 drivers to go through the weekend undefeated in the KCLD Cleaning W95 from Kalgoorlie in Western Australia, Kane Della. We'll start on the outside of the front row. And out of Mildura, the VA10, 144 points. He's put himself on pole position. Let's have a big round of applause for your pole sitter, Carter Metcalfe. They're your 22 finalists in the Raslar Engineering 2022 SSA National Junior Sedan title.
And what a field it is, Alan Smallwood. Drivers are beginning to strap back into their cars. And we see, for those tuned in at home on Speedway Sedans Live, powered by Pro One Race Pass, and everybody here at the venue, your 22 car starting lineup is ready to roll here. They're all getting strapped in by their parents. Alan Smallwood, what an exciting time of the night.
Yeah, making lifetime memories are these competitors in this national final for junior sedans. The A main, Carter Metcalfe just getting the last few words of instructions from his dad ahead of this 25-lap final, as is Kane Della, who's got older brother Lockie just offering some last few moments of advice before this A-main. The Della family, passionate about Speedway out of Kalgoorlie in Western Australia, big supporters through their business KCLD Cleaning. Lockie Robbins, what a mammoth season he's had racing at home in Tasmania and also in the maiden lane with the 2 cars, one based in Tassie and one in this part of the world. It's been a big season for him, all in readiness for this weekend and also the Victorian title right here at Alexandra next weekend as well. Jaden Hancock has had a pretty strong season in Queensland. He starts on the outside of the second row in this A-main over 20 laps. Jason Oldfield just giving his son Bo last bit of instruction as well. Bo would be, if you told him this morning that he'd qualify automatically for the A-main, he wouldn't have believed you. There's a lot of work to do on that Mirage overnight to turn it around and to get in by the skin of his teeth without having to go through the B main. Must have been a huge relief for the team from Oldfield Racing. Aidan Rigby from the Gympie Saloon Car Club as his dad Doug, just making sure the safety equipment's all put on correctly and buckled in, ready for this 25-lap main event. You can feel the tension in the air. It's been over 2 years since we've run a national title for junior sedans, and it's a thrilling climax to what's been a great weekend of racing from Australia's best junior sedan drivers. Every state and territory represented this weekend, including the ACT. We had Jack Murphy out of the ACT and River Spitzpath from the Northern Territory amongst the field, taking on the drivers from the states around the country. And it's only going to be a few moments before we're going to fire these engines into life. Jared Ash.
Yes, you see final preparations for everybody, making sure everyone's strapped in safely as they're supposed to be. You see Brody Holliman and his father Luke, the fluorescent yellow gloves going on in the Q12 machine. Doug Rigby, father of the Queensland champion Aidan Rigby, just making sure the window net is up and secure. Beside them, Grant Fowler and his son, the hard charger, the Flash, Harry Fowler. Final preparations for those guys. Window net up and secure, helmet on. Young Kane Richters from the Bundaberg region in the number 32 machine for Immortal Roll Cages, and his father Glenn beside him. And there you see our two cars that have gone through the weekend undefeated. Kane Della in the KCLD number 95, and our pulse sitter Alan Smallwood. Young Carter Metcalfe. What would be going through the mind of those two gentlemen right now?
Yeah, just be trying to keep themselves calm would be the biggest challenge for them at the moment. Just trying to keep themselves all in check ahead of this final. Nervous time in the racing career of these young drivers. And the two Hyundai Excels qualifying on the front row, then Mitsubishi products in the next two rows after that. The first of the Daihatsu Charades being Aaron Tranter in the S45, going from position number 7. Cars look an absolute treat on that freshly prepared Alexandra Speedway front straight as as the engines fire into life here at Alexandra. They're all standing on their feet here in the front straight. High anticipation of this race, to say the least. The junior sedans set to fly over the 25 laps around the Alexandra Speedway. This is going to be a fascinating 25 laps. Truly have the best 22 cars in the field this weekend in this A main. And hats off to all the crews, all the teams, all the families involved in all 75 cars that have taken part in the national title here at Alexandra. They're going to go 3 wide, I believe, as we roll around.
I do have a cameraman on the back straight. Don't go green yet, I've got a cameraman on the back straight. All good. Sweet.
3 wide for 2 circulations around the Alexandra Speedways. Our guys and girls in this final get themselves into position. And if you're here at the racetrack, there's a historic moment in the history of the Alexandra District Speedway Club. A national title for junior sedans. Their first national title under the Speedway Sedans Australia umbrella. Club with a rich history here in Central Victoria of Speedway sedan racing. And get up on your feet. Wish the 22 finalists all the best. Alexandra, where are you? Let's make some noise. Let's hear you. Send these guys and girls on their way. Give them a big round of applause. Take plenty of photos. Upload them to Instagram, Facebook, whatever your social media account is. Put your hands together for our 22 finalists.
22 of the best in the country are here, rolling around 3 wide here at Alexandra Speedway. This is your 2022 National Junior Sedan title. And there are plenty happy faces amongst the fans, amongst the parents, amongst the supporters, the families, the brothers, sisters and pit crews. And most importantly, the Alexandra Speedway Car Club are very pumped to see this 22 car field on the track for their feature race here. It is the National Junior Sedan title for Razzler Engineering, and Alan Smallwood will have your call. What a sight that was, Smalley.
Absolutely sensational. Goosebump sort of stuff from the junior sedans here at Alexandra Speedway. This is going to be a fantastic finale to a big 3 days here in Victoria. One more rolling lap before we will give them the green flag. Carter Metcalfe and Kane Della undefeated in the heat race competition. Remarkable when we have a field this size. 75 competitors doing battle across the weekend, and they go through undefeated. A Victorian and a West Australian. Lockie Robbins from Tasmania and Queensland's Jaden Hancock to go from row 2. Queensland 23, Harry Fowler, and the Queensland 28 of Aidan Rigby to go from the 3rd row. Aaron Tranter, Jaden Bryant, Brody Holloman, and Kane Richters. Your first 5 rows, 22 finalists. Watch for the 2 Patterson boys in their Rassler Engineering. Lancers to come from a long way back on their home track. The West Australian champion, Bo Oldfield, going from P16. And a former state champion, the former Tasmanian champion, Lockie Robbins, going from position number 3. Flashing yellow lights. We're going to get a start next time around. It's time to get up on your feet, Alexandra. Yell, scream and shout. The Rassler Engineering SSA National Junior Sedan title, A main over 25 grueling laps, is set to go green as they roll out of turn number 4. Carter Metcalfe and Kane Della, your front row. And we are underway in the A main for 2022. The 2 Hyundai Excels side by side. They sail off into turn number 1 for the first time, and Carter Metcalfe has the race lead. Kane Della settles into 2nd place. Rear gun behind the 10 in front of him, Lockie Robbins. And getting amongst it early is Harry Fowler and the South Australian champion, Aaron Tranter, as Fowler's gone around. And we've got a big stack down in turns 3 and 4. Curtis Peel caught up in it, as is a couple others. And Curtis Peel, his race will be over. He has had one of the wheels come off the Q11 in the crash down there in turns 3 and 4. Kane Richter's caught up in it, as is the V10 of Bree Simpson, one of the locals in this final on her home track. Hopefully not too much damage for any of the competitors down there. Very slowly out of turn number 2, coming back around for a start. Our junior sedans looking an absolute treat under lights. This A main at the Alexandra Speedway. First ever national title under the Speedway Sedans Australia umbrella for the Alexandra Speedway in Victoria. Done a remarkable job this weekend. A fantastic hidden gem of Australian Speedway, to say the least, is this venue here in the beautiful township of Alexandra. Carter Metcalfe and Kane Della. Once again, the 2 undefeated drivers in the heat race competition will lead them to the green flag. A second attempt to get this A main for the Rassler Engineering SSA National Junior Sedan title underway. And Carter Metcalfe straight away just trying to take that line away from the 95 of Kane Della as they entered turn number 1. Bo Oldfield, 3/4 track guy, making his way forward already, as is Kane Richters and Nathan Miles. And Will Shaw, one of our B main winners, is up into around 12th place early in the Adam Holt Industries V15 from Mildura. But speaking of Mildura, your race leader, Carter Metcalfe, leads Kane Della, Lockie Robbins, Aaron Tranter and Aidan Rigby, your top 5 after the opening lap of 25 around the nearly 600 metre Alexandra Speedway. Jaden Hancock is 6th from Brody Holloman, Jaden Bryant, and Bo Oldfield after lap number 1 has gone from P15 up into 9th place. He's on the charge early. Is the West Australian champion. Jaden Santin is 10th from Will Shaw, Donnie Davis, Kane Richters, and Bree Simpson is in about 12th place at the moment. But Carter Metcalfe has got clear of Kane Della. Aaron Tranter is clearly in 3rd. The South Australian champion from Adelaide. The Queensland champion, Aidan Rigby, battling with the T48 of Lockie Robbins, who's just holding off Rigby at the moment. Jaden Hancock is 6th from Brody Holloman, Jaden Bryant. Bo Oldfield now challenging Jaden Bryant for 8th place at the moment. Oldfield on the inside of Bryant as they exit turn number 2. Look at Jaden Hancock and Aidan Rigby. They do this week in and week out in southeast Queensland, having a fantastic scrap for 5th place in the national title here at Alexandra. I think Aidan Rigby just has the nose in front of Jaden Hancock. Another Queenslander just behind him in Brody Holloman. Bo Oldfield to the inside of Jaden Bryant. Oldfield on the low line goes into 8th place momentarily. Jaden Bryant trying to fight back. Will Shaw is 10th from the B main up into 10th place. Donnie Davis 11th from Kane Richters, Bree Simpson, Nathan Miles, Jaden Santin and Brody Day back there in about 16th place at the moment. In fact, he's 15th is the West Australian. From further back, Lincoln Patterson, Jackson Goldie, River Patterson, Karina Barton and Harry Fowler rounds them out. This absolutely flying around the Alexandra Speedway, our SSA Junior Sedans. There's 6 laps down this time around, and Carter Metcalfe, his quick time of the race so far, a 21.990, which is some of the quickest times he's set this weekend. In fact, it's the quickest time he's done in race competition. In the VA10 from Mildura, Kane Della, comfortable in second at the moment from Aaron Trent. To those top 3 have scooted away. Lockie Robbins now has put a bit of real estate between himself and Aidan Rigby, sits in 5th as the Queensland champion. Jaden Hancock is 6th, Bo Oldfield now 7th from Jaden Bryant. Behind Jaden Bryant in 9th place is Brody Holloman, and rounding out your top 10, Will Shaw, as our SSA Junior Sedans absolutely flying around the wide open spaces here at Alexandra. We've been going for just on 3 minutes in this national title A main. 8 down and 17 remaining. And Carter Metcalfe looks comfortable out in front. He leads by 1.6 seconds back to the 95 out of Western Australia of Kane Della for KCLD, cleaning the South Australian Aaron Tranter. A further 1.2 seconds back in the Daihatsu Charade. Lockie Robbins is 4th from Aidan Rigby. Jaden Hancock is 6th. Bo Oldfield is 7th in the 84 for Nationwide Signs. Broado Barn in Epping, it's Jaden Bryant, he's 8th. Brody Holloman 9th. Donnie Davis and Will Shaw battling at the back end of the top 10. Kane Richters, Bree Simpson, Brody Day. Brody Day now finds himself in 13th place in the number 8. The V12 of Nathan Miles after that from Lincoln Patterson and Jackson Goldie. But our leaders once again head past the start-finish line into turn number 1. 1.6 seconds, the gap staying the same between Carter Metcalfe and the VA10 and the 95 of Kane Della. Aaron Tranter is 3rd. From Lockie Robbins, is just falling into the clutches ever so slightly of Aidan Rigby. We'll have 11 laps down and 14 remaining for Carter Metcalfe, who's a huge Cameron Waters fan, as you would be if you're from Mildura. He's doing a great job out in front. The Mildura Crash Supplies, Hyundai Excel. Kane Della still 2nd from Aaron Tranter. Aidan Rigby had a bit of a lunge to the inside of Lockie Robbins in turn number 1 that time around. And look at Aidan Rigby range up alongside of Lockie Robbins. Robbins trying to shut the door on the Queensland champion as they race past the Foodworks sign into turn number 3. Robbins going back around the outside of Aidan Rigby. Jaden Hancock still 6th from Bo Oldfield. Jaden Bryant is 8th. Brody Holloman and Donnie Davis still has Will Shaw for company in that battle for the final spot inside the top 10. The TLC contracting number 3 runs in 10th from Will Shaw. Kane Richters from Bundaberg is 12th. Brody Day is 13th from Bree Simpson and Nathan Miles. Your top 15 in this National Title A main. Brought to you by Rassler Engineering and Aidan Rigby. Now comfortably into 4th place to the inside of Lockie Robbins. We're halfway home. 13 down and 12 remaining. In fact, there'll be 11 to run for Carter Metcalfe. He'll be getting extremely nervous. We've gone green so far without a stoppage after that initial accident on the opening lap. Our first attempt to get this National Title A main underway. But Carter Metcalfe has now got out to 2.5 seconds back to Kane Della. He's got another 1.2 seconds back to the South Australian champion, Aaron Tranter. Aidan Rigby will be praying for a stoppage. Back there in 4th, he's got a lot of real estate to make up. Jaden Hancock to the inside of Lockie Robbins. Robbins went super deep into turn number 3. And unfortunately, the T48 has gone upside down. Jaden Bryant nowhere to go. And a couple others have got caught up in it, including Brody Day and Will Shaw. A nasty accident in Pitt's corner. Lockie Robbins was trying to hold on to that position. He was being challenged into turn number 3. And the T48, unfortunately, on his lid in Pitt's corner. Lockie, the 2021 Tasmanian champion, and you can see the front end of the 12 of Will Shaw. I think Will's made heavy contact with the back of the 49 of Jaden Bryant, who was stationary, getting caught up in the accident. Our crash crew going to work, as well as our ambulance officers, to make sure Lockie is A-OK.
And a very welcome caution on the Speedway for those guys running in 3rd, 4th and 5th. The front 2 cars had really skipped away in this one, Smalley, but those guys in 3rd, 4th and 5th, they've got some pace. They really just needed a piggyback back up to the field. And how is Bo Oldfield's form? From position 16 up to 6 in the first 14 laps. Smalley, what has he got for your leaders with this one? Still undecided. Still double-digit laps to go, so plenty of time for Mr. Oldfield to make some more forward progress.
Yeah, the length of a heat race plus 3 laps still remaining. Quick time of the race belongs to our race leader, Carter Metcalfe, and the only driver to dip into that 21-second bracket with a 21.831 for Carter Metcalfe. The yellow lights have gone out. Will we go the rest of the way without a stoppage? What will happen in these final 11 laps around the Alexandra Speedway? The green flag comes down, and Carter Metcalfe jumps on the loud pedal and leads him to the start-finish line and heads into turn number 1. And straight away, you know, Kane Della is not going to die wondering. He's going to try and see if he can find a way past Carter Metcalfe. Aaron Trenter and Aidan Rigby just tuck into those top 4 positions. Jaden Hancock and Bo Oldfield sits in 6th ahead of Brody Holloman. Donnie Davis has restarted in position number 8 in his machine. So Jaden Bryant not able to restart. And the V49 also out of the race, one of the locals from here in Alexandra. So Donnie Davis tackling the back of Brody Holloman in that battle for 7th place. The Queenslander versus the West Australian, who would never race against each other previously before this weekend. But Carter Metcalfe continues to lead. He's led the first 16 laps in the VA10 out of Mildura in northwestern Victoria. From Kane Della as Jaden Santon retires from the race with a damaged right front strut on the Mitsubishi Lancer. Takes it to the infield in the Santin Quarry Products car from the Lismore Automobile Club. So the length of a heat race to go for Carter Metcalfe. 8 laps remaining between himself and the first title victory of his career. Has never even won a state title. Has been on the podium in the South Australian title last year at Mount Gambier. He would love to become the national champion. He said it was 4 years in the making to race in a national title. In the VA10, they've been working overtime back in Mildura to get some car speed in readiness for this big couple of weekends, the national and Victorian titles here at Alexandra. He leads Lockie Della by 1.0 seconds. 1.03 back to Kane Della. In the 95, he's got Aaron Trenter trying to run him down. In the S45, the South Australian champion, Kenny, really in the KCLD, landing number 95 of Kane Della in front of him. Aidan Rigby still 4th from Jaden Hancock. Bo Oldfield has got Brody Holloman and his fellow West Australian Donnie Davis for company. The battle for 6th, 7th and 8th. Oldfield just barely holding on at the moment as the West Australian champion. Holloman, Davis, Will Shaw and Nathan Miles, your top 10, as Lincoln Patterson trying to work his way forward as well. And the Rassler Engineering Mitsubishi Lancer. But we've completed 20 circulations of Alexandra. Just 5 to run for Carter Metcalfe. Leads by 1.7 seconds back to Kane Della, who's about to fill the blowtorch from the South Australian champion, Aaron Trenter. Here comes a little charade. Running down that Hyundai Excel out of Western Australia in front of him. Kane Della, can he hold on to second? The Rev Right engines. Hyundai motor is pumping hard. Aaron Trenter, Morse code on the back bumper of Kane Della through turn number 1 that time around. Trenter goes to the outside. The South Australian champion, 3/4 track high. So race past the Foodworks sign into turn number 3. Just 3 laps remain for Carter Metcalfe. Aaron Trenter digging big time on the outside of Kane Della. What a great battle for 2nd and 3rd. South Australia versus WA. Della just holding off the South Australian champion at the moment. Aidan Rigby, the Queensland champion, still 4th. And rounding at your top 5 from Maryborough, the Q7 of Jaden Hancock. Bo Oldfield is 6th from Brody Holloman and Donnie Davis. Aaron Trenter gets it done. He goes around the outside of Kane Della into 2nd place with just 2 laps to run. Kane Della trying to fight back on the low line, but I think Aaron Trenter might have got the job done in the Daihatsu Charade, who does the majority of his racing over at Murray Bridge in South Australia. Here comes the white flag. 1 to run for Carter Metcalfe, the Victorian from Mildura, leading Aaron Trenter now by 2.8 seconds. Kane Della is 3rd from Aidan Rigby, Jaden Hancock, and the West Australian champion Bo Oldfield is still 6th. but down the back straight for the final time. He's going to go through the entire weekend undefeated from Mildura in Victoria. Carter Metcalfe wins the SSA National Junior Sedan title. Kane Della gets Aaron Tranter on the line with an outstanding pass in turn number 4. Aidan Rigg will be 4th from Jaden Hancock. Bo Oldfield 6th. Donnie Davis got Brody Holloman on the final circulation to be 7th. Will Shaw be 9th from Nathan Miles. Lincoln Patterson was 11th after that. We'll give you the official result in a few moments' time. But how about that, Victoria? Make some noise for your new SSA National Junior Sedan Champion, the VA10 out of Mildura, Carter Metcalfe. He's going to get the checkered flag and go on a lap of honour of the Alexandra Speedway. Undefeated in the heat race competition, and he's led all 25 laps to become the national champion. Kane Della and Aaron Trent also pulling up to give him the thumbs up. But everyone here in the front straight into turn number 1, make some noise for Carter Metcalfe. He's absolutely delighted as a young man out of Mildura. Let's check the official dividends on that one. He defeats Kane Della by 3.125 seconds, who managed to find his way back around Aaron Tranter. Got there ahead of Aaron Tranter by 0.158 of a second. Aidan Rigby in the Q28 was 4th. 2.7 seconds back from Aaron Tranter. The Q7 of Jaden Hancock was 5th from Bo Oldfield. Donnie Davis, that pair of West Australians, 6th and 7th. Brody Holloman was 8th from Will Shaw. Nathan Miles, Lincoln Patterson. Kyrena Barton was 12th from Bree Simpson. Harry Fowler, your 14 finishes. Jaden Santon completed 16 laps. Jaden Bryant completed 14, as did Brody Day, Kane Richters, Jackson Goldie, River Patterson, and Lachlan Robbins, with Curtis Peel not completing a lap in the Q11 to be 22nd overall. But Carter Metcalfe is going to celebrate with a bit of tyre frying action down there in turns 3 and 4. Put your hands together for him if you're down there in the pit area. Carter Metcalfe, a very excited winner of the SSA National Junior Sedan title.
Oh, what a display, Alexandra. How about it one more time? Make some noise. Your new national champion, the Victoria 10, Carter Metcalfe. Making sure we keep the mosquitoes away. What a smoke show against the pit fans in front of family and friends. He's going to pull up here on the main straightaway. And we'll speak with our podium very, very shortly. Alan Smallwood heading trackside to catch up with a very excited national title podium. And a very pumped up Carter Metcalfe pulls up on the main straightaway ahead of the Alexandra and District Speedway Club podium. What a weekend, what an event, and what a performance by your top 3, Tranter, Della, and Metcalfe. Hancock and Rigby rounding out your top 5 here. So Victoria, South Australia, Western Australia and Queensland with a pair of cars in the top 5. He's about to climb from the car. And when he gets up on top of the roof, make plenty of noise, Alexandra. Your new National Junior Sedan Champion, Carter Metcalfe. I reckon he's plenty pumped up about that. And so he should be. Undefeated over the course of the weekend. And Mildura Speedway, a very proud club. And I'm sure all the Timbers Speedway members are very pumped up about that. He gets some horns, some lights flashing here. And here comes Kane Della. A beautiful show of sportsmanship. A big handshake. And the rest of his junior sedan competitors over to make sure they know how they feel about his win. It's a wonderful time in our sport. Alan Smallwood, what a display from not only Carter Metcalfe, but all of our 22 competitors here tonight. in tonight's feature race.
Yeah, that was an awesome main event, to say the least. There, Jared, that was awesome stuff. We're getting all the trophies and all the bits and pieces like that for finishing on the podium into position at the moment, along with sashes, and we've got it all for our junior sedan competitors that have finished inside the top 5 in the national title here at Alexandra. Got to get the Alexandra and District Speedway winners podium into position here. Looks an absolute treat, to say the least. Big thanks once again to our major sponsor, the Rassler Engineering, for supporting this weekend's SSA National Junior Sedan title.
And we must say also the Alexandra Speedway Club stood down here beside the podium. A very proud moment for all of them. And what a job they've done hosting this year's National Junior Sedan title. Alan Smallwood, I dare say proceedings not too far from getting underway.
Yeah, without further ado, we'll bring forward the first of our top 5 in this year's 2022 Rassler Engineering SSA National Junior Sedan title. I've got Rob Patterson from Rassler Engineering, also Greg Lynn, the CEO of Speedway Sedans Australia. To my left, we'll bring forward our 5th place getter in the Q7 from Maryborough. Let's hear it for Jaden Hancock. Jaden, a brilliant weekend from yourself, a heat race win as well as plenty of podium positions. Got yourself to the first couple of rows for that main event. You must be pleased to bring home such a strong result against a quality field.
Yeah, thank you. I can't thank Mum and Dad enough for everything they do. Really wouldn't be here without them, or my sponsors, everyone. I'd like to thank my sponsors actually. LA Security, Revit Productions, F-Word Speed Shop, GSR Bricklaying, Aaron Potts Contracting, BR's Exhaust, and all the volunteers and all the drivers for a great race.
Had a pretty fierce battle early in the race with Lockie Robbins, but unfortunately he come to grief. How did you see that from your vantage point?
Yeah, it was pretty scary, to be honest. It happened right in front of me. I'm surprised I actually got out of it, but I hope Lockie's okay, and thank you.
Well done on 5th place, Jaden.
Thank you.
So a round of applause for Jaden Hancock out of Queensland, 5th in this year's SSA National Junior Sedan title. 4th place, the Queensland champion from the Gympie Saloon Car Club. Let's have a big round of applause for Aidan Rigby. Aidan, come on down, brother. A fantastic result for yourself, 4th in the national title. You must be wrapped with that.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Wasn't expecting too much because we changed the motor this morning, but yeah, obviously XLs were just really good here. Just drove with what I had, and yeah, just like to thank Mum, Dad, Grandma and Grandpa for coming, Papa for helping build our old motor. It's not so good anymore. Spency for building us the motor, Hamilton's for giving us the next one, and Nathan for helping out, and Gympie Auto Wreckers, Keybay Engineering, Sprott Stainless Steel, GTR Fabrications, and Bridgestone Gympie.
All the best for your Queensland title defence in June at Maryborough.
Thank you.
There he is, Aidan Rigby, 4th in the national title here at Alexandra in Victoria. Now into our top 3. He threw everything at Kane Della. In fact, he was in 2nd for a few laps towards the end of the A-Main. The South Australian champion in the S45 charade. Let's hear it for Aaron Trenter, 3rd in the national title for 2022. Aaron, outstanding result for yourself. You threw everything at Kane Della in 2nd momentarily, but you put together 25 faultless laps around the Alexandra Speedway.
Yeah, it was a pretty tough track out there. Yeah, it was pretty rough, and yeah, in some places it was dry and wet and everything really. But yeah, big thanks to Nathan Thorne, Mum, Dad, the whole family. Yeah, all the track people, all the officials, yeah, Speedway Sedans, and everyone who puts this race together. Yeah.
Tell us about that battle with Kane in the concluding stages. That must have been a fun one.
Oh yeah, it was pretty tough out there, but yeah, he managed to get it off. So yeah, well done to him.
Well done on 3rd place, Aaron.
Cheers, thank you.
A round of applause for Aaron Tranter, third in this year's national title. The runner-up in the WA 95 for KCLD Cleaning from the Goldfields in Western Australia. Let's hear it for Kane Della. Kane, well done on the runner-up position. You must be wrapped with the weekend you put together here in Victoria.
Yeah, that was a sick track out there. Weren't really realising where to run after that oil mark after the flip, but car got real hot, but I wasn't stopping. Congrats to Carter on the win and everyone else on their placing. Thanks to all my sponsors and everyone back home that's supporting me. Michael and the kids back there. All the other families that have supported me and keep calling me and texting me. Thanks to Murray for all the work on the car over the weekend. And sadly, he can't be here next weekend, but still, that's right. But we'll be here next weekend, do it all again.
All the best for the Victorian title, Kane.
Cheers.
Kane Della, your runner-up in the national title for 2022. And it gives me great pleasure. Let's have a huge round of applause for the new SSA National Junior Sedan Champion from Mildura. We're right here in Victoria, Carter Metcalfe, the V810 Hyundai XL. Head over there, Carter. We got Rob from Rassler Engineering, the team. He gets not only the trophy and everything else, but he also gets the champion's belt. Fantastic initiative from the club here at Alexandra. Looks awesome. We're going to get plenty of photos with that around the waist. Get a couple of photos there first, Carter, before we'll have a chat to you. Carter, undefeated at the national title. I don't reckon, if you pinch yourself, do you think you're dreaming you couldn't have scripted it any better for yourself?
Oh, mate, I can't believe it. I got no words. I can't believe that I did this. I wasn't even thinking about getting into the A main. That was my goal. Getting on the podium, just pole. Got no words. Undefeated, it's good. It just feels amazing. Did it for Mildura, did it for everyone. This is a good feeling.
What was going through the brain? You obviously got out to an early lead. What were you thinking going in those early laps? You had a stoppage on the opening lap, and then after 14 laps, the yellow lights come on again. Well, the red lights in actual fact came on. What were you thinking during that stoppage?
During the stoppage, I was just focused on the temps. I just didn't want it to get above like 200. But when it restarted, I thought he was behind me the whole way. Mate. I got no words, but with 5 laps to go or whatever it was, I lost brakes, so that was fun.
Yeah, I don't reckon you're going to stop from that point, but must be a huge amount of people you'd like to thank for making not only your racing career possible, but this weekend in particular, what it is for yourself.
I don't even know who to thank. I just like to thank Mum, Dad, just get me around everywhere, getting as good as I am. Travis, doing the engine. Will, being my little crew chief. Same as Luke. Thank everyone back to Mildura. This is amazing.
And just finally, you're going to head into next weekend's Victorian title as the national champion. That must be exciting to think you're going to put the A1 on the side of the Hyundai and race around Alexandra again in just a few days' time.
Yeah, hopefully I can do the same thing in the Vic, but who knows, just go into it with a clear head and just see what happens.
Well done, Carter.
Thank you.
Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. The new SSA National Junior Sedan Champion, Carter Metcalfe, and our top 5, Kane Della, Aaron Tranter, Aidan Rigby, and Jaden Hancock. One more round of applause, Alexandra, for our top 5 in this year's Rassler Engineering SSA National Junior Sedan title. We've got lemonade bottles to spray down here, Jared.
Clear
for our
the
junior sedan
trophies.
drivers. So
Clear the trophies.
I'm getting well away from that. Here
They
they go.
don't
They're
need
going
to
to
be
shake them
sticky at
up.
all.
This is unique. This is a new one for me. I've
The
never seen this
lemonade
in a junior
shower.
title, but it's a great idea to say the least.
I hope it works. This is a hell of a build-up, Smalley.
I reckon they're going to have to give it. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there we go. How about that, Smalley? A lemonade shower.
To quote Ryan Harris, that was Q.
That was cool. The whole weekend was cool, Smalley. What an event. A massive thank you to our host for this weekend's Razzler Engineering SSA National Junior Sedan title. We can't thank, on behalf of Speedway Sedans Australia, we can't thank the Alexandra and District Sporting Car Club enough for everything they've done. And what a weekend it has been as we take some pictures from our aerial shot above the very big crowd assembled here of friends, family and competitors on the front straightaway. We'll go through all the photos and celebrations here trackside, and once you join me back in the Tower Allen Small, we'll sign off from our Speedway Sedans live coverage powered by Pro One Race Parts. But post-race checks and celebrations are plenty to come as we take some more pictures trackside. Plenty of handshakes amongst the competitors, and wonderful to see some goodwill and some celebrations amongst all of our podium getters over the course of the weekend. A pretty special weekend, especially for young Carter Metcalfe and the number 10 machine, getting all the photos there with Napier Photography and Speedway Sedans Australia Media. And we're going to have our street stock drivers out here for their podium presentation for their Go Switch Go feature they had a little bit earlier on.